Hello. I was supposed to stream yesterday, but there was a change in my schedule, like plans very last minute, so I ended up not having time. I'm still not sure if I'm gonna have time to do the stream today, but you know what? This is taking priority because I am super excited for the Archon quest. I've been slightly upset recently because, it's hard to explain. I have been slightly off and upset recently because I was experiencing Genshin burnout before 4.0, and 4.0 kind of cured my Genshin burnout because a bunch of content that I liked came out. Like, a bunch of really cool content that I liked just came out in 4.0. And, so I was super excited for it. And then I went to playing Honkai Star Rail, and I was like, this kind of feels boring now, which is gonna happen. And it's pretty normal. And I'm so sorry not yesterday, 2 days ago, for not completing the Archon quest and just exploring. I got really sidetracked. My brain really went everywhere. But we're here now. And that's what matters.
Hello? Is there anyone here?
I'm sorry if there's like an echo on the microphone. At my dad's house, I can keep my microphone pretty far away from my screen. But here, at my mother's house, I cannot. So, this is just how it's gonna have to be.
Oh, hello there. New customers? Looking to buy, or do you need something made? Or perhaps you're just looking for a chat with me.
Oh no, we're just here to deliver some materials. Here they are. They're for making... what were they called again?
Ah, these must be for Magic Pockets. I could tell right away. I've already made several orders worth now.
Do we need to pay?
No need. They've already prepaid several batches worth. When they told me what they'd be using them for, I even offered them a discount. But they insisted on paying the full amount, saying that I had a business to run. It seems both their hearts and their pockets are made of gold.
Whoa. So, is Lyney actually loaded?
I can't say for sure, but who knows? Maybe there's good money to be made being a magician in Fontaine.
Just
Hey,
fell
is this
off where
machine
it
what
was
you
supposed
used to make
be, and
stuff
I'm so
here?
scared it broke.
It
So
looks really advanced.
Why use your hands when a machine can do the work? It would be a waste not to use the latest technology, and wasting is a kind of crime.
But where does a big machine like that get its power from?
Well, it's a little complicated. I'm not sure I can put it in layman's terms for you. But basically, everything we usually use here in the city is powered by indemnitium. It's a type of energy that's produced from trials.
Huh? How can trials produce energy?
Well, I'm not completely sure of all the details myself, but basically, when a trial is in session, the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale harvests people's belief in justice and converts it into energy to be used all around Fontaine.
So that's what its other function is? Paimon heard that the Oratrice was created by the Archon to make judgments.
Oh.
But Paimon still doesn't get it. How could something unreliable like people's beliefs be turned into a stable power source for these machines?
I mean, that's a fair point, Paimon. But Venti and Hida both said.
Oh, yeah! So that means the Hydro Archon relies on the machine to take the energy created by belief and turn it into power for all of Fontaine, right?
Probably.
Even though I've never heard anyone really put it that way before, it sounds like it makes sense. Besides indemnitium, we have another type of energy called pneumosia. It isn't produced by the power of the Archon, but it is unstable by nature. Even now, it still cannot be widely used by civilians.
I thought I'd find you hard at work, but here you are chatting the day away. Since you're already talking, I'm sure you wouldn't mind a few words with me.
You again?
Oh, no.
Didn't I already promise you that I'd have the more I owe to Confrérie of Cabriere by next month? Why are you hounding me now?
Yeah, but how do we know that you won't go running off by the end of this month? I want 50% today. Wait, no, 70%.
Huh? You...
Seems business isn't so great for the workshop. We've already finished our job and delivered the materials. Maybe now's a good time to leave?
Sounds like a usual case of someone owing somebody
Hey,
else
hold
money.
on. Before you go around trying to collect payments, why don't you settle your own debts first?
Tartaglia! Let's go!
If Confrérie of
bestie.
Cabriere wants to poach clients from Northland Bank, that's fine. But I'm afraid you still owe the bank a hefty sum of mora. So why don't we work things out between us first, before you get back to your little conversation here?
You're from Northland Bank. But we said we'll pay everything we owe next month. Why are you hounding me now?
That's exactly what the girl said, you little bitch.
Traveler, Paimon! I didn't think I'd run into you here in Fontaine. What are the chances?
We're surprised to see you too! What are you doing here in Fontaine? You didn't want to stay in Snezhnaya?
We sure seem to have run into a lot of friends today.
Long story short, I've already been in Fontaine for some time now, and honestly, things have been pretty boring. But it seems that fate brought our paths together today. Not only will I have some good friends here now, but ones who always seem to find trouble.
Thank you.
Either way you look at it, it seems things are going to get a lot more interesting now.
Well, I
Pretty sure we
appreciate
want
it.
to avoid anything that you'd find interesting. Besides, our trip here has gone pretty well so far. Right, Traveler?
I think we've already weathered enough storms for now.
Hey, you, Northland Bank boy. Aren't you forgetting something?
Don't interrupt. It's not often I run into the Traveler like this. Why don't you wait for me over there for a while?
You kidding? Aren't you the one looking for us? You really expect us to sit and twiddle our thumbs while you catch up with your friends? Listen to me, boy. If you want your mora, fine. Why don't you come and take it?
Hey, I just said not to interrupt. Oh, by the way, Traveler, the last time I took Tonya and Tusser ice fishing, Tusser said,
Hey! That's way over the line! All right, boys, let's see who has to pay up now!
He's a member
can
of
you at
the...
least let me finish one sentence? Fine. Though the bank told me not to get rough with our clients.
I'm so mad. He's literally a Fatui Harbinger. Y'all think you can just... Okay, you know what? Some people are just dumb. And that's not their fault. I mean, it is, but like...
You're the ones who started it. This is an act of self-defense. You two will have to be my witnesses, okay?
Tartaglia, are you going to get put on trial? Because if you get arrested and I have to deal with it, okay, fine.
I'm sure this won't take long.
Cutscene? Cutscene? Oh.
Ha! Yeah, yeah. Shouldn't let your guard down. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
What's your deal, Brad? How are you so strong if you're just a staffer from Snezhnaya's Northland Bank? Wait, don't tell me you're...
Oh, now you notice. It's a little late, don't you think? Just make sure you understand that you don't mess with Northland Bank. Got it? Huh?
Now's my chance!
Huh. That was weird.
What just happened?
I'm not sure. It's as if I suddenly lost control of my hydro powers when I needed them. Maybe there's something wrong with my vision?
Strange. How could that happen? First time Paimon's ever heard of someone losing control of their vision.
Never mind. It doesn't matter. If I want to stay sharp, I shouldn't be relying too much on my vision anyway. Besides, I always have my delusion in case I need it.
Better not use your delusion too
So
often.
what are you doing in Fontaine, child? And don't say it's work for Northland Bank.
Well, I guess it's because I've been in a bad mood lately.
Aww.
Huh? What kind of reason is that? Wait, since when do you feel down about anything?
Fair question, Tyler.
I don't know. Maybe I still have a lot to learn about myself. But recently, there seems to be some sort of restless power stirring inside of me. And I don't know why, but every now and then I feel like I'm in a terrible mood.
Oh, bestie.
Maybe you losing control of your vision just now is connected with that power you're feeling inside.
Babies.
That is a possibility.
Do you have any idea where it came from?
I can't remember if I ever mentioned it before, but when I was 14, I fell into some unknown abyss.
Oh, they're bringing up lore that's in his character story. Oh, we're getting into the thick of it. We're going from current problems to past issues, and I'm so here for it.
It was during that time I learned nearly all of my abilities. The one who took me under her wing and taught me was named Skirk.
Is Clorin Skirk? Was I right? Was I right about my crack theory?
She was always quiet and very mysterious. Nobody knew where she came from or what she had been through, and she was always very strict when teaching me combat techniques. One time, I asked her why she was willing to take me on as an apprentice. From what I could make of her answer, it was because I had awakened it, and traces of it remained on me. She said that all my combat training would be useful in the future.
Wait a minute, that was in Karibe. That was in Karibe. You know, fancy schmancy or whatever. That was in Karibe. So... Is that like the demon gall of the abyss? Oh, bestie bitch.
But what is it? What did you awaken?
She never explained that, but my guess is that it's related to a dream I saw when I had just fallen into that abyss. In my dream, I was in the deepest depths of the sea, and the boundless seabed was all around me. But in front of me appeared a whale that was so massive, I felt like I couldn't breathe.
A whale? Oh, that sounds familiar! When we fought against you before, you summoned a huge whale that seemed to leap at us. Is that the one?
That's just an abstract form of a whale that I create using my elemental powers. It takes that shape because the scene I dreamt of the whale has always been stuck in my mind. I'll never forget it.
So you used the whale as inspiration for one of your moves? Huh. Seems a little twisted to Paimon.
What do you expect, Paimon? From Tartaglia. It's very possible that the power inside you is connected to your instant
I experienced there. I've never stopped searching for Master Skirk and that unknown abyss. But it's been years now, and I've still found nothing. There isn't even a trace of the place where I remember falling into the abyss.
Kind of ghost story.
Yeah, I'm out of leads at this point, but there's nothing more I can do. It seems that strange encounters in this world tend to be elusive like that. Oh, seems the time really flies when I'm talking with you. I just remembered I have somewhere else I need to be, so I should get going.
What? More work for the Northland Bank?
No, it's more of a personal appointment. Lately, I've been sparring with some of Fontaine's official champion duelists whenever I'm feeling bored.
Official champion duelists? You mean it's their job to duel?
Yep, in Fontaine, before a criminal goes to court, they're given one chance to defend their honor by requesting a duel with an official champion duelist. The champion duelists are all-powerful fighters selected from among the nation's best. And the duel itself is a no-holds-barred fight with no specified stopping point. So engaging in such a duel is regarded as a symbol of defending your honor. If a criminal manages to win the duel, they'll be acquitted. But if they lose, they'll have no choice but to stand trial.
Wow.
And the worst-case scenario is that you're simply killed in the duel. Though it's rumored that Fontaine has a death penalty, from what I can tell, no one has ever been officially sentenced to death. So really, the only people who opt to duel are those who have suffered a grave injustice in being accused, or those who greatly value their honor. Otherwise, why gamble with your life?
So, do many people actually get out of their trials by winning the duel?
Apparently, it's exceedingly rare for anyone to actually win. Fontaine probably enacted this system as a way to show that the nation respects the honor of its citizens.
That feels
Besides,
like a lie.
none of the champion duelists are to be trifled with, which is exactly why I was itching to face them as soon as I got to Fontaine. Apparently, the one I'm meeting today, Clorinde, is the strongest of the champion duelists. I had been asking her for some time before she finally agreed to face me today.
Well, that's child for ya. Paimon feels like we heard that name somewhere before. Clorinde. Huh.
When you meant the Hydra Archon.
Oh, before I forget, I want you to have this.
Huh?
You're giving me your vision?
Vision? You're seriously just giving it away?
I'm just worried that it could become uncontrollable again. I'd be pretty upset if it got in the way of my duel, so I think I'll be better off without it for now. Besides, I just need you to hold on to it for a short while. I'll come retrieve it when I have some time later.
Paimon knows what you're up to come talk to us again, don't you?
Well, yeah, Paimon, but that's because we're amazing. Like, we're the best. So, of course he wants to talk to us. Obviously.
Whatever gave you that idea? I'll be in touch later.
That sneaky guy. He said he's been feeling down lately, but he seemed the same as ever to Paimon. Well, seems we don't have much to do for now. We might as well walk around and see the city before Lyney's performance.
I'm so excited for Lyney's performance. I'm so hyped. Can you let me actually walk all around the court of Fontaine? Because I would like to do that.
Wow! Who could have seen that coming? The reporter who was barely around for most of the story was the murderer all along!
It's here to spoil the mystery for everyone else, Paimon.
Sorry. Paimon was just surprised, that's all. Whew. Paimon never saw that twist coming. The murder mystery novels here are amazing!
Do you have any idea how long we were loitering
Whodunits
here?
here in Fontaine are a lot different than the light novels you see from Yai Publishing House. Both have their merits, but Paimon thinks this style of novels are more, well, novel. It's so exciting to reach the moment when the mystery is uncovered, especially in the one Paimon was just reading. You should buy a copy and read it too.
You've already spoiled who the murderer is.
Oh, sorry about that. Paimon will be more careful next time. Hey, shouldn't we be heading to the Opera House to see Lyney's performance soon? It's almost time for the show to start, so we should get going. Lyney said that the Opera House is on Aranias, so let's go ride the Aquabus!
Right. I already kind of explored everything. There's only one teleport waypoint I don't have, and it's because I don't know how to get there. I don't know how to get under the city. I think it's around here, if I had to guess, but I already took the aqua bus. I don't need to take it again. Let's get the team out. Let's get the team. What? I said internet not sufficient for streaming, and then it let me stream anyway. So I'm super scared that the stream's gonna cut out at the worst moment, or it's already cut out. I don't think it has, because I've been doing as much as possible to prove that it has not cut out. So you would assume that it would be fine, and it feels fine. I'm just super scared that it's not.
All is accounted for. Let's move out.
Actually,
Don't tell me they did it again.
we're deploying this. Okay, I think we're fine now. We're good.
Tea is ready. Now it's time for a short rest.
Lynette would be the best D&D player. Rest economy.
Now disappear.
Whoa! Now this is fancy! The Opera Epiclese. What a place to hold a performance! No wonder Lyney and Lynette were looking forward to it. Huh. Looks like there's a lot of people standing around the fountain up ahead.
Oh, Archon, please bless us with a bright and healthy child. We pray.
I don't know why you always feel the need to ask so much. I'll be happy as long as our child is healthy and lives a peaceful life.
I guess if they're our kid, then there's no doubt they'll turn out smart.
Maybe this is one of the customs in Fontaine. There sure are a lot of couples here.
Yeah. I just fully couldn't
Vache.
Hello? Huh?
What's wrong?
Basho.
Vache. Vache.
Vache. What is that? What is that? Did you just say something, Paimon?
No, Paimon didn't say anything. Are you hearing things?
Whose voice was that?
Welcome to
just
the Fountain of Lucine. All the water flowing through Fontaine converges here. It's customary for newlyweds to come here and wish for children.
Lynette! You scared Paimon! When did you get here?
Lyney asked me to wait here for you, remember?
Right.
By the way, Lynette, I seem to hear a faint voice just now.
What do you mean? There are a lot of people here right now.
It seemed as if it was coming from the fountain.
Hey!
But
I
no.
see. I might be able to tell you something that could help explain the voice you heard. In fact,
Yes?
you might not be imagining things at all. I suspect that what you heard is a result of your hypersensitivity to the hydro element. Others in my family have had similar experiences.
It's because of her sensitivity to the hydro element? But what would hearing a voice have to do with elemental power?
When do you cry, Paimon?
Wait, what? What does that have to do with anything?
Just answer me.
I'm so confused.
When do you cry?
Yeah. What do you mean? What does that mean?
When Paimon's really sad? Oh, and when Paimon's super happy. Oh, and also when Paimon's really, really scared.
Then you should understand that tears contain your most intense emotions. Like I just mentioned, the Fountain of Lucine is where all the flowing water in Fontaine converges. Even the tears that fall to the ground will eventually gather here. So maybe what you heard was the intense emotion coming from someone's tears.
Huh, that's an interesting explanation. Not sure whether I buy it though.
So, what did the voice say?
You'd be calling out someone's name.
If you were hearing their emotions, then Paimon wonders what happened to them.
Okay, so, hear me out, hear me out. I just looked up Vacher, like Vacher, the name, the meaning of the name. Apparently, Joseph Vacher is a French serial killer, which means this bitch might have been calling out a murderer's name, which could relate to the trial we're gonna oversee, which would be interesting. I would be super here for that. Meaning, it can also mean a keeper of stock or cattle. But that's very southern cow herd. Yeah, it can be a keeper of stock or cattle. I can speak, y'all. And it's also the name of Joseph Vacher, a murderer. A French serial killer. I don't know what that means, but it's notable.
Rather than worrying about them, we should worry about my brother first.
I'm sorry, Lynette's hair is so pretty.
Don't let that calm look of his fool you. He tends to get pretty nervous just before a performance. So chatting with Lyney might help him relax a little before he goes on stage.
Oh, right. That makes sense. Let's go in and see Lyney.
Mm-hmm. But
No two cases.
we'll leave. I have stuff to do. It's not this time. Oh yeah, I got C4 Lynette. I'm rolling for C6 Lynette. I don't care. If I end up getting a bad 5-star, I don't care. I don't care. I want C6 Lynette. I don't care how many 5 stars I don't want that I get. I will get Lynette.
Traveler and Paimon.
So
good to see you. I knew you two would come.
This sounds like the time I went to go see an opera and fell asleep. Look, my chorus teacher took us for an opera field trip and I fell asleep in my chair. And the music was very pretty, but it had been a very long day and it was very late at night, so I was very tired.
Are you kidding? We wouldn't miss it for the world.
It wasn't bad. It was really interesting, actually. I just was too tired. Moving on.
I can tell, judging by how early you've arrived.
We're early?
But you're actually right on time. The audience still hasn't started entering the venue yet, which means now is the perfect chance for us to take you to the best seats in the house. Wait just a moment. I'll fetch the tickets.
Thank you. We're just chatting with Lynette. We're just like, hey girl, what's up?
The Opera
What's up,
House has assigned seating, so you always have to make reservations. I've already reserved your seats, and here are your tickets.
Ooh, front row seats. Thanks, Lyney.
Don't mention it. There's no need to keep thanking me.
But you're a good
Hey,
friend.
Lyney, could you come over here and take a look at this?
I'm concerned.
Oh, I'll be right there. Seems there's an issue with the stage props over there. That's Cal, my assistant, calling me. I'll go lend him a hand.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll just go to our seats. You go ahead, Lyney.
Y'all, I'm having such a good time. Oh, that music. Bum ba la bum 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 bum. Gorgeous. Sorry, my singing is bad, but the note escalation was very fun. Woo! That was so dramatic. I loved it. A Hoyoverse, you really are putting your whole Hoyoverse of into this, and I appreciate it. Lyney's like, I'm here to arrange you the best seats in the house. In my humble opinion, the best seats in the house are... Let me go. Let me show you. Let me show you.
Over here.
The best seats in the house would be... I can't... Can I climb in the Opera Epi place? Come on, let me climb the walls. It's very rude. In my opinion, the best seats in the house is the seat right above me. I don't want to sit right there. I want to sit right here. Who is that? Nouvellette? Nouvellette? Who are you? Nouvellette? Star?
Oh, these should be our seats. Come on, let's sit down.
Mm-hmm. Hello. Hello. Would you like to speak? Paimon and Lumion looking at each other like, who's that? I didn't expect this. I did not want this. It's the side eye for me. So awkward, I love it so much. Side eye. The side eye.
Hey, Traveler. Maybe we should strike up a conversation with the person next to us. Since we're sitting together and the rest of the place is practically empty still. It's kinda awkward if we don't say anything.
Isn't that usually your job, Paimon?
You little... Of course you put this on Paimon.
I'm so sorry that you're the talkative one.
Excuse me, I did not realize you felt awkward. I am terribly sorry.
Speak more. That awakened something in me, y'all. Sir, I need you to speak more. You need to talk. That was nice. I was not expecting this. Oh no. The screen's going all fuzzy.
I would be perfectly happy to chat with you if that is what you would like.
Oh, so you heard all of that, did ya? Boy, you sure have good ears. Paimon thought she was keeping her voice down. Wait, that's not it. Paimon's sorry. Paimon's the one who was being rude, talking under her breath like that. So let's talk, but, what should we talk about?
This is getting even more awkward.
Oh, Paimon's got it. You're also here early and sitting in the front. Are you a friend of Lyney's too?
A friend, you say? Well, if Mr. Lyney would like to be my friend, I would be more than happy to reciprocate.
I love him. I love him. You know how I said I wasn't gonna roll for anyone next patch so I could spend all my primos on rolling for one single 4-star? That might not be the case anymore.
Oh, so you're not friends with Lyney then?
Why does my screen keep going fuzzy when all the things on it stop moving? That's concerning.
Paimon nearly forgot to make her introduction.
I'm sorry about the screen quality. It's usually not like this. Usually the quality of my stream is pretty good.
Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon and this is the Traveler. We just
Okay, there we
arrived
go.
in Fontaine.
It fixed itself.
It is an honor to meet you two. I have heard of
I
your
would like to
deeds
apologize
across
for my
divide.
screen going all fuzzy like that. It
And as
usually never
required by
does
proper
that.
etiquette,
It
I
only
will
does that
also
when my
introduce
internet's bad,
myself.
which makes sense.
I
But I thought my internet was okay now.
Monsieur Nervilette, what an honor it is to have you here to see my show.
I thought my screen was fine now. Because, you know, my internet kind of fixed itself. Because it was saying my internet was too low to broadcast, but my broadcast is still going on. So I assumed that the broadcast was fine, but it seems to not be, and that's very concerning.
Ah, Mr.
But
Lyney.
if anything goes
I
wrong,
should
I'll
say
figure
it is
it
in
out.
fact an honor for me to see your performance in person.
Wait, Nervilette? Could he be?
Nervilette.
I saw you all chatting just now, but it seems you still don't know who Monsieur Nervilette is. Allow me to introduce you to Fontaine's Chief Justice. That seat is always reserved for him. It wouldn't be too much to say that he's the symbol of justice and honesty here in Fontaine.
Ooh, sorry for being so rude just now. Paimon had no idea you were such an important person.
No offense taken. Being Chief Justice is merely what I do for work. Nearly every person has their usual reserved seat, so I'm not so special, really. And by the way, I should probably let you know, even though I would prefer not to. There's someone sitting up there in the VIP seats that has been striking a pose for quite a while now. I believe she is trying to give you a most elegant and impressive first impression. So I think you should take notice of her sooner rather than later. Otherwise, she may become flustered.
Love him. Hello. You know how I said I hated her earlier? I think I was wrong.
Oh, it's Farina, the Hydro Archon. Huh. She sure has a smug and satisfied look on her face. Guess she has no idea that you saw right through her act.
Very good. That is for the best. No need to pay her any more attention. We may now enjoy the show.
I love him so much.
So is this what things are like between the Chief Justice and the Hydro Archon?
All right, please wait just a moment longer. I've pretty much finished my preparations, and the performance will start as soon as the audience has made their way to their seats.
Yay! The show's finally about to start! Paimon can hardly wait! Paimon's never seen a real live magic show before!
Cutscene! I'm so hyped.
Oh! They're dimming the lights! The show must be starting!
Cutscene, 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 cutscene.
Sorry. Paimon will try to stay quiet.
Paimon and I are the same person. Cutscene, cutscene.
Welcome, one and all, to the Opera Epiclese. I am the star of today's show, Lyney. And over here is my sister, Lynette, who will be working as my wonderful assistant. Please, let's give her a warm welcome.
She looks so tired.
Hello, everyone.
She looks exhausted, girl.
I know she may seem to be a little sleepy right now, but that's just a sign that she's nervous.
Whatever.
I love her.
Now, some of you may be thinking, two vision holders who can freely manipulate elemental powers performing magic is not true magic at all. So, I would like to take a moment to assure you that elemental powers will have nothing to do with what you will witness on the stage today. Both Lynette and myself have removed our visions for the show. That way, even the gods won't be able to help us.
Oh, good point. That's what makes the show real magic.
Now, without further ado, let the show begin. Lynette will now exit the stage to make some preparations. I know you might miss her, but don't worry. She'll be coming right back on stage momentarily. Perhaps in an unexpected way. I'm sure she'll be stealing the spotlight soon enough. Oh, and before I forget, there's one more thing I should say. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye.
Cutscene?
A magician's greatest skill is making things disappear or appear.
I love him.
The possibilities are endless.
I love him.
Huh? But this isn't what you came for. These little tricks, you've seen them all before. So it's time for something truly extraordinary, don't you think? This one's a little tricky. Using this water tank, I shall make my sister vanish completely, right before your very eyes.
Lauren's just standing there.
It's actually quite simple. She'll just turn into air bubbles and float right out of the top. Oh no! I told them to check all the props carefully. With the lid on, even air can't escape. An amateur magician would be getting very nervous right around now. Luckily, it's me on stage, so let me show you what a true virtuoso can do.
Sorry about my balance. Ooh, hello.
Lynette,
Both of
are you
us
still
surprised.
there? Don't go too far. We don't want to use up all our magic.
Hi, I'm back.
Uh-huh.
Hello. I love Lynette so much. She's so cool. I'm having so much fun right now, y'all.
Whoa! What in the world just happened? How did he do that? Harlan didn't see him do anything. Wasn't Lynette inside the water tank? How did she disappear and then reappear out of nowhere?
What a show.
If we could see easily through his tricks, then that would mean that his skills are still lacking. To appreciate magic, you should focus on the show happening on stage, rather than getting caught up in trying to see that which has been intentionally hidden.
Fair point.
That's right. Harlan couldn't believe her eyes when Lynette reappeared. Amazing!
Thank you everyone. I'm glad you enjoyed that performance. But our magical journey has only just begun. I've prepared even more astonishing surprises for everyone here. The magic of transformation and disappearance can go far beyond what you've just seen. I'm sure many of you are thinking that escaping the water tank was impressive enough, but Lynette is still my assistant after all. In which case, I have ample time to make all necessary preparations. So, for my next trick, I will require the participation of one lucky audience member. Please, if my assistants could bring out the magical boxes now. There are 2 boxes, and only 2 boxes.
I wish the cutscene
one is here,
to this
and
part,
one is there
so
in the aisle among the audience.
Because without the cutscene, it doesn't feel as dramatic, but it's fine.
I'm sure many of our clever audience members have already guessed our next magic trick. A swap! Our lucky audience member and I will each enter a magic box. After 1 minute, we will each emerge from the opposite box. Now please, everyone pay very close attention to the box you see here. Don't give me any chance to make a move.
Wow! How's he gonna do this? Hey, do you think this is all magic tricks, or does Lyney have actual superpowers?
Let's watch and see.
The lucky audience member will be generated by this random number selector. It selects numbers entirely at random. Even I don't know who will be chosen to participate. Now then, let's begin.
It's gonna be like Chlorinde or something.
Oh, let me see. Oh, row 7, seat 3. Congratulations! You now have the chance to experience magic firsthand for an entire minute. Please, come forward. My assistant will take you beside the magic box. I'm sorry, it might be a little cramped inside, but no need to feel nervous. We've carefully arranged everything for you to be as comfortable as possible.
She does not seem like she's in a good mood.
You don't need to do anything, but no matter what strange things may happen, don't come out of the box. If the magic is interrupted, who knows where you might end up? You might even find yourself in the Fortress of Meripede.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, she seems a little off.
Alright. Before I enter the magic box, there is one more thing I need to ask the audience to do. Could you all give me a countdown? Like this. 60, 59, 58. Just keep counting down. You can go a little faster or slower if you like. I won't be able to see anything in the pitch black box, so I'll be relying on your voices to know when time is up. Oh, and no tricks now. If you quickly count from 60 in just 30 seconds, then I'll be in a tough spot.
Ooh! Paimon kinda wants to count faster after hearing him say that!
I'm sure Lyney's prepared.
No, that won't do. I can see it in your eyes. You still can't be trusted. Let's practice together. Come on, repeat after me. 60, 59, 58.
60, 59, 58!
That's loud.
That's right, perfect. Keep it going. All right, I'll see you all on the other side once you've finished counting.
I'm intrigued.
54, 53, 52? Huh? Why aren't you counting, Neuvillette?
I am counting in my head. I think things are exciting enough in here as it is. Merely a consequence of my identity and personality. Do not worry about me. Just enjoy the show.
so serious that Paimon thought you might be feeling uncomfortable or something.
40, 39, 38!
Mr. Lyney, are you all right in there? Is everything ready?
Yes, I'm fine, I'm just double-checking the direction of the magic. It would be a disaster if we get sent to the wrong places. For example, mid-air right above the audience.
Even though he's saying that, Lyney doesn't seem nervous at all.
I think it's all part of the show.
What was that noise? Did you hear it too?
Did it come from the stage? Maybe it was just to divert your attention.
Anyway, it doesn't seem like anyone's worried about it.
I think that was just to divert our attention.
25, 24, 23!
What's wrong, Mr. Lyney? I can still hear you moving in there.
I seem to have accidentally knocked over a decoration. I'm trying to fix it, but it's pitch black in here. I can't tell left from right.
Never mind the decorations. There's no time for that. The show is what's important.
No, that's unacceptable. I want my show to be perfect. Don't worry, we still have 20 seconds. Hear them counting?
19, 18, 17!
It seems things aren't quite going as planned. I apologize, everyone. It feels like you're all starting to count faster, but that's all right. I know it can be tiring to do such a long countdown. 10 seconds and change is still plenty of time.
10!
Almost there now. Whew. Swapping two people is harder work than you might think. Even a master magician like me can't guarantee I'll get it right the first time. Hey, wait! Is this the back one? I can't tell. They both look the same inside. Huh? No, that's not it. I'll try again.
7!
Hey, slow down! Honestly!
5! 4! 3!
Whoops! That doesn't count!
0!
What is it gonna be?
Ta-da!
I love how Farina's so excited about it. Ooh, pyrotechnics, let's go. Hello? What happened?
What happened?
Oh, they died. I'm on the edge of my seat, y'all. Lyney? Did Lyney kill someone?
Is this part of the show? Mr. Lyney, you're going to use magic to fix the stage now, right?
What happened?
Oh no. Maybe this isn't part of the show. The girl was still in that box, right?
This performance is over. Medical staff with me. Guards, secure the scene and detain all the performers. Seal the exits. No one is allowed in or out at this time.
Yes, that's right. If this was just an accident, then we must investigate the cause. But if this was all part of some scheme, then those accountable will not escape the judgment of the God of Justice.
No need to be alarmed, you two. We'll get to the bottom of this soon enough.
Okay. Why is everything happening around us?
Unfortunately, the person who is in the magic box has been pronounced dead. His name was Cowell, one of the assistants in Lyney's magic troupe. Apparently, the fireworks on stage ignited the ropes that were suspending the water tank, which then caused the tank to fall onto the stage. As of now, we are still not sure why we found Cowell in the box, rather than the guest from the audience. And after an initial search of the area, the guards have confirmed that the girl is nowhere to be found. It appears that this incident was not merely some mishap with the performance. And there are many indications that it is connected with the case of the serial disappearances of young women.
Wait a minute. Let's look up that name again, shall we? Vacher. French serial killer, Joseph Vacher. Did he focus on killing young women? Ah. Cute. Okay. Well, he's trying to convict 2 months between 11 and 21 people. Okay, fun. Series of murders in France seems to have begun on November 20, 1884, when a killer strangled, stabbed, and a 13-year-old girl. The same thing happened following May. In August, the same month as the shepherd murder. No. Oh my goodness. Oh my. So, let's move on. Don't look it up. Don't look it up. Don't look it up. You don't want to know. You don't want to know. I said the first part, and I will not be saying the last. So yes, Vacher did kill, mostly young women, but there were some elderly women and young boys too, so that might not be the case. It might not be based on Vacher, but it could have been.
The serial disappearances case?
That's the case that Charlotte mentioned before.
Hold off like this in front of an audience, including the Archon and Chief Justice?
I know the truth. I can see through the whole thing. Really, using such a shallow and obvious mystery as his finale. Did he really underestimate us that badly? I say that our powerful magician, Mr. Lyney, is now the prime suspect for the serial disappearances case.
No way!
Why me? This whole thing was an accident.
So is he the Knave of Hearts in Wonderland? Does he get put on trial?
This all occurred during your magic show, did it not? The missing girl disappeared after being chosen, did she not? The deceased is one of your assistants, is he not? Now that I think about it, that whole speech about magicians making things disappear was nothing more than a provocation, a bald-faced challenge.
That can't be right. How can Lyney do this?
Yeah.
He was in the box on the stage the entire time. We can even hear his voice. Besides, before the show, he told us that he would like to catch the criminal behind the disappearances. He couldn't possibly mean catching himself.
It's hard to believe all this happened during the show.
Save discussion for a later time, please. Lady Farina, may I assume that your comments just now constitute an accusation against Mr. Lyney and his associates, and that you are pressing charges?
Huh? I just think that he... Well, I think it might be a little early to talk about formally pressing charges.
But what Lady Farina said just now makes perfect sense. Looks like she's gonna personally deliver justice.
Oh no. She's the worst version of what I thought she was. She's the best. This is gonna make for a great story, but she's an insecure Archon trying to oversell to make her feel better about herself.
A kidnapping and murder carried out under the cover of a magic show. Lady Farina said it all.
I mean, of course, my dear people. But what excites me even more than the obvious truth before our eyes is the opponent I'll be facing. That's right. I mean you, Traveler. You'll support Lyney, won't you? After all, he was the one who helped you the first time we met.
I trust Lyney.
Then there's no problem at all. You know, the Traveler and I already had a duel the first time we met.
We did not duel. That's a lie.
But with Lyney's help, our little duel ended in a draw. But draws really are the most boring possible outcome. So, no more draws. Between the two of us, there must be a clear winner and loser. And what better place to hold such a riveting showdown and decide the true victor than here, on the grandest of stages, the Opera Epiclese.
It wasn't a draw. She obviously lost last time.
True.
I understand. Charges have now been pressed, and as such, a trial is in order. Well, Traveler, seems Lady Farina has set you in her sights. But putting her dramatic rhetoric aside for a moment, I would like to ask you, are you willing to act as Mr. Lyney's attorney and defend him in this case?
We are not qualified! We didn't go to college, we don't have a degree, we don't know what we're doing, we've never seen a trial in our lives, we can't be an attorney. I don't even know how to do that. I don't even know, like, what that entails. I barely know what an attorney is. I even might be wrong. I don't know anything about law, so I don't know how the Traveler could.
Very well. The trial will be held a day from now in the Opera House.
What?
Both sides may investigate the scene to build their cases and search for the truth. Lyney and his troop are all potential suspects and shall remain within the Opera House.
Not Lynette.
The audience may begin to leave in an orderly fashion once they have been cleared by the guards.
A day isn't that long. Let's see what kind of case this big shot Outlander can build in such a short amount of time. I'm really quite looking forward to hearing it.
I like you. Lynette.
Sorry about everything that happened just now. Were you frightened?
Of course! Who wouldn't be scared after witnessing an accident like that?
True.
Yeah, I'm a little shaken up myself. How could this happen? And poor Cal. I know you already claimed that you would defend me, but now it's just us talking. Tell me, do you think I could possibly be the murderer?
No.
Good to hear. Thank you so much for trusting me. I'm sure everyone sees me as the biggest suspect at this point. But, if you ask me, the whole thing is mysteries layered upon mysteries, such that all that's left is confusion. I don't know whether what happened there on the stage was purely an accident or not, and I don't know why poor Cal was in the box. As for how that girl chosen from the audience could suddenly disappear, I'm afraid I don't have any answers either. If someone tampered with my performance, then we need to figure out what they did.
True.
Even a skilled and knowledgeable magician like myself couldn't pull all that off in just 1 minute.
Yes, it is very strange.
Which is precisely why we need to investigate! As this book says, the impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been that which is possible.
Yes! Paimon is a detective. Let's go, Paimon. Let's go! People who are dumb and like murder mysteries. Us too.
Earlier. Pretty cool, huh? Don't worry. Paimon used her own savings to buy them. It wasn't from our travel funds.
I think they look cute on you, Paimon.
Thank you, Lynette.
You have good taste, Lynette.
That's the right attitude. Feeling depressed isn't going to help me now. I need to get back to my normal self. But with the guards watching our every move, it's going to be especially difficult for Lynette and I to prove our own innocence. Good thing you agreed to be our attorneys. Thanks for that. We'll be counting on you.
Does Lyney look like he has warmer skin than Lynette? Like he gets more sun? Which could be very accurate.
Yes, thank you so much.
I won't let you down.
Yeah, just leave it to us. Oh, since we're going to start investigating, Paimon has a question first. Where did Lynette go during the performance?
Oh, well, I'm afraid that would involve some of our essential trade secrets as magicians.
We're investigating and fighting for your innocence, sir.
The secrets behind our magic are past saving, Lyney.
I suppose you're right. The truth behind our tricks is going to be important evidence that will be weighted during the trial. 'Tis truly a pity. As a magician, our magic show is a work of art. We've poured countless hours and spared no effort in perfecting it. But if revealing our secrets will help you uncover the truth behind what happened, then it will be well worth it. We should go somewhere else if we're going to discuss our magic tricks. We'll go speak with the guards, and in the meantime, you can go investigate the stage and the seating areas.
I would love to.
Alright, let's go have a look while the investigation teams are still here. Detective Paimon is on the case!
Yes! I wasn't expecting the Archon quest to have us being investigators and detectives, but I'm not against
How's the investigation going?
Unexpected's good. As long as it makes for a good story. Where Lyney and Lynette are friends.
I see. You must be the traveler that Lady Farina mentioned. Listen, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'd avoid getting mixed up in this whirlpool of a mess if I were you.
Huh? What do you mean?
Come with me and you'll see.
Oh no, I don't like where this is going one bit.
The deceased is one of Lyney's assistants, named Cal. Even though he hadn't joined the troupe long, he was hardworking and everyone generally liked him. The assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the props, as well as assisting with the show and keeping the crowd engaged. As you probably saw when you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell and smashed the box with Cowl inside it.
But why was Cowl inside
This is the real mystery. We've already searched the scene and were unable to find any traces of the girl. However, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. The ropes holding the tank were then burned by the pyrotechnics on stage, causing them to snap. All these factors lining up so perfectly makes it hard to see this as a mere accident. If anything, the more logical explanation is that the whole incident was intentionally planned, and Lyney is the most likely person to have access to all these areas.
But he doesn't have a motive!
Are you both good friends of his?
Well, you can't say we're good friends, but we've known each other for a little while.
So in just a short time, he was not only able to win your trust, but even convince you to act as his attorneys. I know there's no such thing as magic. The real trick of a magician is holding the audience in the palm of their hand. I've seen a lot of cases, and I can tell you that people are the least reliable kind of evidence.
People can also be the most reliable.
Sorry,
evidence.
I tend to be pretty straightforward. Just know that I'm warning you for your own good.
Okay.
Anyway, you may investigate the scene of the crime yourselves if you're curious. Who knows, maybe you'll be able to come up with some new evidence.
I don't like you. Use the case record to confirm your current evidence and clue collection situation in... Y'all. Time to get to work. I've got till 7 or 8 p.m. So it's around 5, so we got around 3 or 2.5 more hours. So we got time. Use the perception skill to find evidence and clues that can be investigated within a certain region of progress. Guards investigation reports. The investigation from the guards indicates that the fireworks launched at the tail end of the magic performance set the rope dangling the water tank alight, causing the tank to fall and kill Cowl, who was within it. It seems evident that Lyney is the likeliest user of the prop to commit a crime. However, the reason for the victim victim being Cowell and the reason for the chosen lady's disappearance remain mysteries. The deceased is one of Lyney's assistants named Cowell. He was well trusted by all his colleagues. His job was setting up and inspecting the props, as well as assisting with the show and keeping the crowd engaged. Okay, so he's new. We know he's new. He recently joined the troupe. He hasn't been in it for very long, but he's well liked. So the motive for Lyney to kill him is non-existent, as he's well liked. However, there could be a motive in Lyney wanting to be the center of attention, which doesn't seem to be the case, but it is certainly possible. Okay, use perception. There we go. Well, the broken magic box was left on the scene after the guards completed their investigation. Can you let me finish reading? The broken magic box was left on the scene after the guards completed their investigation. Looking at it now, the water tank must have struck it really hard. Well, yeah. It's a heavy metal tank filled with water on a box. Okay. Examine the white line. This is where the magic box was struck. If Cowell weren't inside the box at that moment, he might have dodged the falling water tank.
So this is the rope that broke and caused the water tank to fall.
Yeah.
The rope looks pretty durable. How can it be burned through so quickly by fireworks?
That's what I'm saying. And also, they told me I should be a detective. Okay, I'm gonna get into conspiracy theories. So, we saw those pyrotechnics. They didn't go up high enough, because we saw where the pyrotechnics began and ended. We didn't even see the beginnings of the water tank, so how could the fire reach that high to the water tank? Must have been someone else providing the fire, using the fire happening on stage as a distraction and also as a reason to pin it on Lyney. Which means it could have been one of Lyney's assistants, or, I hate to say it, Lynette, but I doubt it. Or...
Why are you suddenly so serious?
Where did it snap? It snapped at the very beginnings of the rope.
Look! This bit is made from different material!
It is. You're right. I didn't even notice that. That's my fault. I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was made of different material. I thought it was the same material.
Most of it was burned away, but there's still a little bit of it left.
Seems to be flammable. Like cotton.
So if a rope meant to hold something was made with that kind of material in it, then that means... Wait, why don't you write all this down? Let's take notes.
Yes. Tell me what this rope is used. I didn't notice that the rope was made from a different material. It does look different, but I thought that was just like the charred portion of the rope. I didn't think it was a completely different material. I thought that was just the rope being charred. Which is on me. Should have thought of that. But my brain. Sorry, I didn't realize... Oh yeah, you're right. It is made of different material. Because rope doesn't burn like that. Rope does burn and gets charred in a very specific way. And it's not like that. That's the rope. So this was no accident. So someone may have replaced the rope, or it was Lyney, I doubt it. Again, it could have been one of the magic assistants who placed their special rope they got made in there in Yay, or it could have been, I hate to say it, again, Lynette.
Go ahead, have a look around. In the end, we're both after the truth.
Thank you. Okay. I don't know if I trust you. Maurice? Then you. I'll talk to you.
The investigation team has some new findings. Turns out there's an issue with the random number selector after all.
That's good. That's good. Okay,
see, I told you. What if the machine picked some big guy's seat? You think the murderer would have still made his move then?
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Lyney and Lynette with their
You're trying to help them? That'll be a tall order.
Lyney used the machine to pick a random member of the audience during his performance, right? The lucky girl that later disappeared. Well, we thought there might be a serious problem with the machine, so we had it taken away for further inspection.
It turns out that the seat number...
Okay, we have the guard's investigation report. We have the special rope. It was made of flammable material. Again, it's leaning towards someone that was backstage. It couldn't have been Lyney. And it couldn't have been the assistant that was on stage. I don't think they would have prepared this in advance, because that just doesn't seem to make sense. And again, you could see the beginning and the end of the pyrotechnics, but you could not even see the beginning of the water tank, which doesn't check out if those things were able to burn away at it. The deceased's identity.
Picked wasn't random at all. The machine picks that same number every time. I'm sure you already know that you have to make a reservation in advance to get a seat, regardless of whether it's a trial or some performance.
Okay.
In
Well,
other
that's
words,
very suspicious.
Lyney knew who would be sitting where from the very beginning.
That much checks out.
Yeah.
Lyney reserved our seats for us too.
That's true.
Bet you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for Lyney.
Thanks. Sorry to bother you.
Even though it's bad for Lyney's case, Paimon had better write it down.
Good to prepare a rebuttal. Okay, this advice was learned. However, the guards have found that there's no the exact number. Clearly, someone has tampered with it. Again, as we know, Lyney technically plans out the tricks, but the people who handle the prop are the props are his assistants. Specifically, Lynette seems to have the most connection with the props. And obviously, we need to find out the identities of all of his assistants, because there's definitely more than there's a few. So we need to know the members of his crew, because I think it might have been one of them, if someone has tampered with it. I don't think it was Lyney. It very much could have been, but again, he is one of the main characters, so if it was him, that's gonna be very... that's gonna be... I want to see where they go with that if it is him, but I doubt it's him.
Hello there. What are you investigating?
Oh, this location has also been cordoned off because the Magic Troop members are currently considered prime suspects. The investigation team is still collecting evidence.
Yeah.
The seats were all booked in advance, so we were able to deduce the missing woman's identity by checking the guest list.
Perfect. Perfect. We need more identity, summaries, so we can understand where this is.
Sure. It's not like this is confidential information. We will publish it later anyway when we petition the public to help us find the missing person. Her name is Halsey. She's a painter from Fontaine who's made a bit of a name for herself.
Halsey.
Apparently, she wasn't a regular at the Opera House, but she'd been feeling some pressure with her work lately, which made her decide to come see the magic show. The Magic Troop members all claim not to know her. We have looked into her social connections. It seems that she has no personal grievances or conflicts of interest with the suspects. Simply put, she wasn't related to the Magic Troop at all, which matches the features of the previous serial disappearances.
It's true.
Were the victims of previous cases also chosen at random?
That's how it seems to us, in any case. Apart from the fact that they were all young women of around the same age range, there really weren't any other connections between them.
Okay then.
Thanks for letting us know.
No need to be so formal. If you do happen to see the missing girl, please be sure to contact us. It is of utmost importance that we get to the bottom of these disappearances.
Okay. Halsey is the missing person. She's a famous painter. She watched the magic show in order to take a break from her own creative work. She isn't known to have been entangled in quarrels with anyone within the troop. So that is in line with most suspects. But the suspects, oh my goodness. There has to have been some motive. And if there was absolutely zero connection, zero motive, zero anything, for any members of the troop, that feels a little awkward. That was glinting. This was glinting. I don't got everything over here. But, sure.
These people needed to register and reserve a seat for the show. That, combined with this number selector, could allow you to pick a young lady instead of some old fogey.
Yeah.
This rope was obviously tampered with. This rope was obviously... Whoever the murderer was, they must have made preparations well beforehand.
Those are all very clear. We get that idea. Okay.
Gosh. No wonder the serial disappearances never got solved.
Yeah, there was never really any relation. This feels too obvious. I feel like whoever the murderer was had to have had someone. I want to investigate this fucking box. Let me examine this fucking box. Box ability sometimes moves instantly from stage. How did he do it? Can we get inside of the fucking box? Why are you still here? I don't like that. I saw you earlier.
I see that you're investigating the area. Well, it just so happens that I'm interested too.
Are you a fucking attorney?
If you find any new and interesting leads, be sure to share them with me, alright?
We don't have too many thoughts yet.
Then why don't I tell you my hypothesis first?
Thank you, you heard the loud thud!
And I'll start it with that loud thud.
Something must have changed up there, right? It was back
thud? Oh, you mean the sound that happened during the countdown?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It wasn't terribly loud, but I suspect that most people heard it. It's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Lyney's trick with bated breath, so no one paid it much mind. But now that the incident has happened, the thud has become an important clue.
Thank you. It was even notified to us, so I'm very happy that he mentioned that. So whoever the murderer was, they must have acted during the countdown, because that's when all the anticipation was rising. The audience was focused on counting. Lyney was focused on completing the trick. So all of that must have happened during the countdown. We know that whatever happened, the majority of, not preparation, but the last parts of preparation, the moving action that needed to be done, because there's no way they could have just sat still. Like, there's no way they didn't have to do anything in the moment. Happened during that countdown at around the 20-second mark. 30 to 20 seconds, I don't remember exactly, but I know it was somewhere around there.
That makes sense. So, what do you make of it?
I'm of the opinion that it may have been the sound of Lyney's accomplice. Lynette, perhaps. Jumping atop the water tank, or something like that.
Thank you. I don't think Lyney was necessarily the murderer. Again, he could have been. He could have organized all of this, but again, the magic troupe, there is no motive for anyone in the magic troupe to want to kill that man. No motive. Okay, for the disappearance, we don't know the personalities of the magic crew, but we do know that the person that died, that's confirmed dead, was well liked by the magic crew. There is no way that they would have killed him. That just doesn't make sense. So I don't know if it was Lynette. It could have been Lynette. Very easily could have been Lynette. Lynette was handling a lot of the props. But no, it couldn't have been Lynette. Because we know Lynette is not good with machinery. She breaks almost every machine she touches. So she couldn't have tampered with the number generator because she breaks machinery. She doesn't understand how machines work. It's just not her thing. So it couldn't have been her. Doesn't make sense for it to be Lyney. So whoever it had to be someone else.
And when the pyrotechnics went off, she cut the rope, sending the water tank crashing down.
No. The rope was burned. We saw the flammable material. It got burned.
Wait, wasn't the noise we heard too loud for that?
Perhaps the balance wasn't right, leading to a particularly rough landing.
Then wouldn't the water tank have started to swing a bit in that case?
That's true. I suppose I must reconsider.
I appreciate you bringing up the thud, because I do think the thud had something to do with it. Again, most of this was probably prepared and planned beforehand. We know this. We have all the evidence that says this was prepared and planned beforehand. This was not some sudden out of the blue thing. This was intentional. but there had to have been some amount of moving action to it. And the moving action had to have been done during the countdown. Lynette is bad with machinery, so Lynette could have done the moving action, sure, but Lynette could not have tampered with the machinery. Lyney couldn't have done most of it, because that's not his jurisdiction. He doesn't move and test the props. He doesn't check the props. He doesn't mess around with the props. He just, you know, gets everything settled. He's like the head. The other people can do dirty work. So, there's no way that Lynette could have been the planner, and I don't think she would have done anything with the rope. She would know how the rope works. She would be the closest to the rope because she was the one that did have to deal with the rope. To be able to have it move down. So she could have replaced the rope after that. But I doubt it. Or she could have replaced the rope right before the show. But I doubt it. Again, Lynette is seeming more like a suspect than Lyney in this situation. But still.
That does remind Paimon, though. What was with that sound?
Yeah. Thank you. Yes. We're aware. The sound, again, it does bring it to attention. The sound was definitely a part of it. Sorry, my friend just texted me. Okay, sorry. I don't want to take too much time, I just want to be nice. Okay, sorry about that interruption. We're moving on. We investigated that. There has to be more with this fucking box. There has to be more with this fucking box. I don't trust this mother... Okay. Okay, I don't trust that box for anything. Lynette! Wonderful. You're talking to Lynette. Hello, Molly.
Lynn is still talking to the guards. It seems he'll have a lot of explaining to do. I think someone will be assigned to monitor us later, but that's alright. Lynn is still talking to the guards. I think someone will be
Okay, Lyney's trying to explain things. There will be someone monitoring us later. She's saying that's alright. If she's saying it's completely fine that someone's monitoring, either all the evidence is hidden, it wasn't her, or maybe someone else was doing the dirty work, the heavy moving. Anything over here? The other one seems to be outside of the main performance area, but I just want to check around. Let's step out. Okay.
Hey, you! Yes, both of you! Over here! I've been keeping an eye on you for a while now.
Navia with her bodyguard. Navia. Sorry, I love Navia. She's so extra and dramatic with her bodyguards. She's a queen. We love her.
Huh? You mean us?
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also among those who wish to cut down the thorns and pursue the truth. No? And by the looks of it, you're not from Fontaine.
I'm sorry, some of the close-ups are really bad. Like, I know I've mentioned this a lot, but usually Hoyoverse is pretty good about making models that are super smooth and not pixely, and like no matter how close you zoom in, you can't see the pixels easily. But for some reason on Genshin, all of their flat textures are super duper pixely, and it's super duper distracting because the characters look good from afar, but the minute you get close up, it all goes to shit, and it's bothering.
Well, you're right on the more about that.
But it's
one,
fine.
but
It's good.
Who are you?
I'm not upset. I love it. I'm not upset. But just, yeah.
Have you never heard of the Spina di Rosula?
No,
From
girly, I just
mediating
got here.
disputes and
It's
providing
been 2 days.
protection to solving conundrums. You name it. Spina di Rosula does it. And I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president.
You are...
Though those who play by our
gorgeous.
rules call me boss.
I'm Silver, her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
Hello.
And I'm Melus. Demoiselle's various daily needs and affairs are under my purview.
Huh? Boss? Mademoiselle? What gives with the names?
Well, I am the second generation president. Melus and the others are still used to my previous title.
My apologies, Demoiselle. Should you prefer, boss, I will endeavor to use that instead.
No, no need. You don't have to call me boss. Just Navia is fine.
Okay, if you say so. Not that we're members of Spina di Rosula anyway.
All merely trifling details. Never mind. Now, back to the situation at hand.
So you want to investigate as well?
That's right. I've always kept an eye on the serial disappearance cases. My interest stems from a matter back from my father's time. Judging
Intriguing.
from the look of things, I find Lyney an unlikely mastermind.
Really? We think so too! That's why we're looking for clues now. But how did you come to that conclusion?
Intuition, naturally. My unparalleled intuition.
Okay, sure.
Farina sure was quick to point the finger at Lyney without any decisive evidence whatsoever, wasn't she?
Yep.
But that's not uncommon for her. If you remember, the Justice had to interrupt her and ask if she was pressing charges just to keep her from getting carried away. Anyway, a trial begins the moment someone levels charges. And, of course, there was no way Farina was going to back down in that situation.
Yeah.
Sounds more like you just don't trust the Hydro Archon.
I don't either.
Well, what's your opinion? I must admit that she can be interesting at times, but liking her doesn't mean that I'll blindly agree with her.
Well, when you put it like that...
Alright, I've answered your question. Now, it's time you answer mine.
Wait a minute! Did that answer count?
Well, I say it does. But don't worry, you won't hear any pointless questions from me. In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial like it's an opera?
No.
Well?
Not always.
And why would that be?
Doing so makes it easy for the truth to fall by the wayside.
See, Silver and Melus? I told you they'd be different.
Oh, thank
Most
you.
astute of you, Demoiselle. I too think that the Traveler's response was most excellent. No matter how wonderful the script or how fervent the audience's expectations may be, the trials that go on stage here must be based in fact.
Exactly.
And if that can be done, boss, then...
Alright, that's quite enough, Melus. Anyway, I like your answer. You pass with flying colors. Now, I need to make some preparations, following which our joint investigation shall commence. You two shall be my assistants.
Okay. Sure.
Since when did we become assistants?
We always do this, Paimon. Just get over it.
Oh, well, I can be the assistant. Sure. Or your companion, if you like. I'm really not that fussy.
That's more like it.
I think you're missing the point, Paimon.
Far be it from me to brag, but I believe that Demoiselle's intuition will be instrumental in uncovering the truth. You wish to save a friend from false accusations, and we wish to unravel the disappearances. In this sense, our goals are aligned.
You have a point. Huh. You're quite the talker, aren't you, mister?
Why are you looking at me?
Over there. What do you think? You seem like you've got something on your mind.
Hello?
I have nothing to add.
Okay, sure.
Alrighty then.
Fine. Are you the murderer?
We'll be making
Are you the
some
murderer?
preparations first. Just be sure to let us know if they start revealing Lyney's tricks. Thanks!
Of course. There's nothing else out here.
Sorry, but no one can freely enter or exit the Opera House at the moment. If you wish to leave, you must register your identity with us first.
No, we're not leaving. We're representing Lyney and Lynette as attorneys, so we're investigating the case. Were you always guarding this entrance?
Yes, after the Chief Justice gave the order, everyone coming in or out must undergo a strict inspection. So, the missing girl couldn't have left from here. At least, not from that point on.
What about during the show?
I doubt there was much opportunity then, either.
How can you be so sure,
I love her.
Well, because I was in charge of security near the entrance at that time. I couldn't see Lyney's performance from here, which was quite a shame. Just my luck. But still, I did not abandon my post, and I stayed put no matter how loud the applause was. If someone had so much as even approached the door, I would have noticed it, let alone if they had tried to leave.
True.
We Melusines are good at that sort of thing, you know.
Okay.
So, it's safe to say the girl couldn't have left through here. Alright, thank you for your help. This will be useful info.
Interesting. So no one left the Opera House during the magic show. Through the front entrance. And after the incident happened, only those who had their identities secured by the guards could leave. So, from what we know, no one left through the front entrance. So no one left through the front entrance. Could have left anywhere else. Just saying. There's no way there's not a back door to this place. I refuse to believe that.
Checked everything of note here at the performance venue. Paimon wonders how Lyney's discussion with the guards is going. Let's go see, shall we? Ooh, things are getting interesting, huh? We're about to see how magic is made.
Hello, Lyney.
Understood. Then I will be going with you. Just so you're aware, I will be monitoring your actions and making notes as necessary.
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable. I'd pull a rose out of my hat as a gift for you if I could.
You may spare the pleasantries. I'm just doing my job.
You've arrived. Who's this?
Navia.
Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem, I've got the firepower.
I love her.
Sorry.
Look at her little cuffs and
got
sleeves.
a little carried away there. Call me Navia. I'm a partner of theirs, and we'll be helping investigate this whole situation.
I love Navia. She's so... I'm sorry, her design is so pretty.
And these are my companions. Would you mind if they join as well?
Fine by me.
Oh, new helpers? I would be most grateful.
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic performed on such a large scale.
Navia.
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Yeah, Lyney seems like he gets a lot more sun than Lynette.
Yes, a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box, prepared specifically for this switcheroo trick. But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here? I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand the methods used to perform it more easily.
Huh. Weren't there balloons and other decorations here? Where did all that go?
Ah, good eye. That said, you're still far from discovering the answer.
The back of the door isn't the same.
The back? You mean the inside of the door? What's different about it? Paimon didn't notice anything.
Very good indeed. I thought you might not be able to catch that, given that you were sitting in the first row. The back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get?
There's another box inside this one.
Exactly. All right, let's go. I'll tell you how it works as we head down.
We're good at a job, y'all.
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic box!
That makes sense. And this passage linked the 2 boxes together?
I knew you'd figure out most of it as soon as you saw this place.
Yeah, well, this explains a whole lot of it.
The 2 magic boxes are positioned right above the 2 entrances of the tunnel. See this flatbed trolley?
Mm-hmm.
The box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side using the trolley.
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box will face in the right direction.
I see. So that's the purpose of the box inside another box.
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be moved along the trolley, all while the outer box would remain on stage as if nothing had ever changed.
So that's how you did it!
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this device here, with which it would complete the rest of the steps. The audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she walked out, she would already be back on stage.
Then what about your side of the trick?
Right! You were talking that whole time, and you even came out for a moment near the end!
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated by Lynette was used to achieve that effect. My assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that ladder.
And what about Lynette? Where was she?
Good question.
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of the box.
Oh, interesting!
That's how we were able to coordinate Lyney's lines with the assistant. And, by the way, I was the one who walked out of the box at the end.
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes and no one can tell who's who. And that's
fair.
my favorite part of this trick. Only Lynette and I can perform it.
So that's how it all worked! Wow, every detail you revealed was more amazing than the last!
That makes sense. Lyney's eyes did look weird at the end. I thought his eyes looked
Lynette
weird.
would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the
Maybe I'm
tunnel
just
and
seeing things,
escaping
but I could've
before the
sworn
box on the
something was up
trolley
with
could
his
finish
eyes.
ascending. And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete. The operative word here being would. But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand, mysteriously vanished.
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably never would have figured out how you pulled it off. And yet, To think that someone was able to use this magic trick to commit a crime. Could we have a look around? I think we can come up with some more leads.
This is the scene of the crime, so Lyney and Lynette are not permitted to stay here. I'll escort them back up.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now. I won't disappear into thin air, you know.
Thanks, everyone. We're counting on you.
Oh, I can't tell if the eyes look awkward. Sorry, I was looking at the cutscene. Lyney gave a detailed account of how the trick is supposed to work. Leaving a box inside the box was the idea for the box to work house. Yeah. Said, meanwhile, having her outfit change, Lynette, her assistant, take care of on-stage interactions. Stage box structure, the box, additional layer to its rear, which Lynette and Lyney's clothes remained hidden, would appear at the end of the magic trick and lead people to believe that Lyney had been able to instantly move to the box on the other side. The magic box at the center of the audience stands has 2 layers, and beneath it is an entrance to an underground tunnel. This was how the lucky audience member was meant to have been transported without the audience knowing. Okay, we understand the trick. Let's investigate this underground area, because I have so many things I want to look at right now. Okay, lever. Wonderful. That should be the control device for the trolley. It seems to be able to operate automatically, so it does operate on its own. So no one actually would have had to have been down here. So if there is any sign of people coming down here, then that's a little suspicious. Why is this knocked over?
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Of course.
Speaking of which, why would there be water here?
There's no way it's for a trick.
Paimon knows! It's one of those tricks where you pour water into a jug and then flip the jug over only for the water to disappear? And here's a broken vase. Huh. Did the trolley knock it down while moving?
I doubt it.
That can't be.
Yeah.
The trolley moves along tracks from start to finish. It couldn't have hit the vase at this distance.
Yeah. Navi and I are thinking the
Let's
same.
note this down too and think about it later.
Broken flower vase. There are many. Doesn't seem unlikely. Yeah. There's no way it could have been knocked over by the transport trolley. So, someone would have had to have been down here. There's a dress.
Oh. These are the clothes that the lady chosen from the audience was wearing, right?
You're right.
Her clothes are here, but she's nowhere to be found.
Lyney didn't mention that the guest was having a wardrobe change.
Right. And do you really need to do that if you're kidnapping them?
When did you get those swirlies on the glasses?
This is so confusing. Paimon doesn't want to be a detective anymore.
Paimon. Clothes belong to Halsey. Oh no, I don't like where this is going, because it's very much relating to the shed. Whatever she did. Okay. So, reduced. The lever can act on its own, automatically. No one needs to be down here, moving around, and getting in the way of shit. No, that doesn't need to happen. At all. When the box is being moved. So, this vase, someone would have had to come down here to break this vase, which means they weren't down here to complete the trick. Which means the person that came down here that ended up accidentally breaking the vase, which was the thud. I'm so good at my job, y'all. So the breaking of the vase, we can assume, was the thud we heard in the middle of the countdown, where the box was being moved across and was stopped, and had to have been stopped partway through at some point, for the girl to have been taken. While the girl was being taken, a struggle probably happened, and the vase ended up being knocked over, breaking, causing a thud. But that doesn't make sense, because a vase falling over and breaking would usually lead to a shattering sound, like a instead of like a thud sound, right? So I don't know if the thud was necessarily the vase falling over and breaking, or if it was the sign of a struggle. Could have been either or. That's a little iffy. The tracks, yes. The tracks are perfect, making the trolleys and doesn't get close. The tracks are completely fine. You determine. This could have been fun as well.
Huh. What's this?
Looks like a hook tied to the end of a rope. Huh? There's all kinds of odds and ends here.
The rope was switched out. I knew it. I knew it. The rope had to have been switched out. I'm not allowing myself to take an issue here. The rope. This was the rope that was originally on the magic box that got switched out some point before the performance started with the flammable version of the rope that had the flammable material made out of that one singular specific part, so that one singular specific part would burn.
Perhaps it was a prop for a different trick. But why would it have been left here?
Yeah.
Whatever it is, let's make a note of it first.
Yeah. This is pretty clear to me. Okay, the ladder. Yeah. Wait a minute. How would the track get over here, ending here, and go up the ladder smoothly? This doesn't look like it would be a smooth transition. Neither does that. Maybe that's just bad. But... Examine storage boxes. Sorry, 1 second. I will be checking stuff. Sorry? Technical difficulties. Sorry about that. Moving onward. Sorry, I heard a noise in my room and I wanted to make sure the stream could hear it. I heard a noise. It looked... Something fell over. Wonderful. And I was scared the stream could heard it. It was heard in the stream. It was very quiet though, so I'm sure it's fine. Let's examine the storage boxes again. All kinds of props and costumes are haphazardly stuffed inside. Okay, there's nothing else. Okay, good. I was like, vent. My brain immediately went.
What is this place?
It's a motherfucking vent.
It seems someone could fit through here.
Easily. It's very big.
Huh. Could this have been the suspect's escape route?
That's what I'm assuming.
Alone, perhaps. But if they had to pull another person with them, the space would be too narrow.
No, the space would not be too narrow at all. The space would not at all be too narrow. That space is giant. You could probably fit in there just crouching. So if you were crawling through, you could easily bring another person with you.
But there are no other ways in or out of here.
Other than those that go through the magic boxes, and Lyney and Lynette were in the 2 magic boxes. So, it couldn't have been Lyney or Lynette, because they were in the 2 magic boxes without the girl, unless the girl was hidden in the backspace, but I doubt it.
Oh, you're right. Let Paimon write that down.
And then passing barely, but leaving long. Prospect. So, we don't know where the killer escaped, but it couldn't have been Lyney or Lynette because
Seems we're just about done investigating.
those 2 were in the
down
boxes, and we have to, and we didn't
Yes.
really.
Let's head back up.
I'm examining this trolley. return to the surface. Okay. So I'm assuming it's not Lyney or Lynette, unless it was Lynette. Which is appearing to seem more likely.
Well,
and
we've
Lynette
ascertained the state of the crime
girl
scene.
in the back crawl space of the box. But Lynette was not in that box when the dude got killed. So we don't actually know which box Lynette was in because Lynette wasn't in the box. Because Lynette didn't get killed in there. So we actually have, we still do not have a single clue where Lynette was. Because if Lynette was in a backspace in that box, she would have gotten killed.
Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malus returns. Seems to me that there are several things that don't add up here.
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape through the vent?
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the vent leads to the Opera House's basement.
That makes sense.
The guards have checked the area carefully. No one left through the basement during the performance or after the incident, and no one was found hiding there.
So the tunnels become like a secret chamber then. You know, like the kind you usually see in novels.
It would seem so.
The plot thickens. Halsey's disappearance and Cowell's death are both quite inexplicable.
Yeah.
No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation. All the current evidence points toward Lyney and Lynette.
I'd say, I'm sorry, but I'd say none of the evidence points towards Lyney. And all of the evidence points towards Lynette. The switching of the rope, the unique nature of the custom rope. The fact that Lynette wasn't in the box where she was supposed to be, and therefore didn't die. The fact that the struggle happened downstairs. No, but when we heard that thud, Lynette would have still been in the box because she would have had to come out. So she would have had to go in last second, so it could have been Lyney.
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld unless we make some considerable progress.
Yeah.
Charges and then trial. So if the charges are upheld, they'll announce a sentence?
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, the Chief Justice and the Oratrice will hear statements from both sides.
The Oratrice will too.
That's right. This is how indemnitium is produced. The statements from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness testimonies, and even the audience's emotions will all be projected on the Oratrice. To put it simply, it's as if the Oratrice has its own will, and is a judge in its own right.
Nice.
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the Chief Justice. And not that this has ever happened anyway.
Once both sides have finished speaking, the Chief Justice will make his final decision. This, too, will be used by the Oratrice as a reference. Then, finally, the Oratrice will be consulted by officials. The result it returns is the will of justice itself.
But why does the Oratrice have a consciousness? How did it get that?
Huh?
We need to investigate
So that machine is the one that actually decides? I'm unbuttoned over Let called the shots.
In practice, there is very little difference. Both have always come to the same judgment, which is why people have great faith in the Chief Justice. Ah, yes, the guards also asked me to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this place before the trial.
Huh? Why?
Yeah, why?
Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies. That makes us persons related to the case.
True.
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties, or that we might find outside help to disrupt the case. And even if that were not so, it could prove problematic if we happen to spread key information about the case ahead of time.
I'm
True.
ready to break out at any time.
Okay.
Whoa, there's no need for that. Paimon thinks they have a point. That said, are they providing food?
And a place to sleep?
Of course. I just hope you don't mind the lack of options. I'm afraid that catering to all tastes is not in the cards, nor is any guarantee of balanced nutrition.
Now's not the time to be
In
picky.
that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. Pity. I was hoping to take you to try some of Fontaine's famous desserts, too. I mean, what better way to properly think through our findings than over some tea and sweets?
Huh. Breaking out suddenly doesn't seem like such a bad idea after all.
Paimon.
Just kidding, just kidding. Paimon will still do her best, even if there are no snacks.
What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks. If we cannot buy some, then we'll simply make some.
I love her.
Here? But how?
Understood, Demoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
Do you have a portable kitchen? Hello?
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove with you?
Fuck yeah.
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the Demoiselle's baking needs whenever the fancy strikes her.
I love those two.
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
I love them. This is such a good group of people.
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to it. Please sit tight for a moment. You'll get to taste my awesome snacks soon enough.
These three are quite the interesting group.
Must be a spina di Rosula type thing. Yeah, probably.
And Paimon thought it
that
smelled
translate to?
good while it was still in the oven. Oh, it's even better now. Paimon can't stop drooling. From the way you had these two guys carrying all that stuff around, Paimon thought you'd have them do more during the baking process.
Yeah.
You ended up doing the entire thing by yourself. Beating the egg whites, grinding almonds, everything.
It means, okay. Is that correct? That don't seem right. Okay, we're investigating. Okay, so from Latin English, spina di rosula means thorn of the rose, so like a rose thorn. So it is stabbing into. So that, I don't know what thorn of the rose means. I don't know if that means like they're actually their culprit, or if they're like a thorn in the side of the establishment or something.
I was applauding.
And I was giving encouraging smiles.
That's not quite what Paimon meant, but okay.
Paimon was just thinking. Aren't you worried about getting your fancy dress dirty, beating egg whites, and baking like this?
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses, and play the piano. I just really enjoy making snacks. Don't underestimate beating egg whites, by the way. It's a real arm workout. You also need to beat them to just the right consistency, or your macarons will crack. Anyway, give these a try, fresh out of the oven. There's 3 for each of us.
Only 3?
Well, eating too many sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head. You wouldn't be able to think clearly about the case on a sugar rush, would you?
Tea is ready to be served as well. This is Demoiselle's favorite, strong black tea with a floral fragrance that clears the mind and lifts the spirit.
Thank you.
No need for concern. I'm merely doing as I should.
These people really like their job.
All right then. Down to business. As Paimon mentioned previously, the tunnel seems to be something of a secret chamber.
Yeah.
However, we can assume that Lyney and Lynette were not alone within it. Some criminal also occupied its sealed confines. The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any logical motive.
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
So apart from the twins, we're left with 2 other people, the missing girl and the deceased. And the assistants. The multiple assistants.
The flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey and the criminal in the tunnel.
Thank you.
Resulting
We
in
think
the
the
shattering
same.
of the vase, the discarding of her clothes, and her abduction. Perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if she was still wearing the same clothes.
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but the real trouble is...
There's no evidence that this third person even exists.
True. None of the clues we found thus far support the existence of this third person. But the only people left to consider are both technically victims, whether it's the missing girl, Halsey, or poor Cowell.
Huh. Could Halsey have secretly made modifications to the magic props in order to murder Cowell before making her escape?
But she had no way of knowing how the magic trick worked.
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire trick to pull it off.
Exactly.
Nor does she have any motive. The guard said that she has never had any dealings with the magic troop's members.
Exactly.
Were we not thorough enough in our search?
We can go back again if you want, but I feel like that's wasting time.
Into an impossible case. Your macarons are amazing though, Navia. They smell great! They're nice and crisp and super sweet.
They are my specialty after all. And I see you've already had 5 of them.
She's taking mine. It's
What?
fine.
5? Oh, that can't be right. Paimon only counted 3, honest.
Please don't worry about it. At my age, a few less sweets might actually be a good thing.
No. Being greedy is one thing, but Paimon knows how to count. Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough.
It's fine. If you ate them, you ate them.
Even you don't believe Paimon? How could you?
Not to be mean to the traveler, but I believe Paimon. She did not eat those, which means someone else that we didn't see that could have been the murderer ate those fucking macarons. I'm on you, bitch.
If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they turn into stone in her stomach.
Alright, we get it. Well, I suppose one of us might have gotten too engrossed in our chat and eaten them by mistake. No big deal. Malus, set up the stove again if you would.
I love her.
What are you doing?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
Oh, there's no need to do that.
Exactly. We don't want to trouble you.
As you wish, demoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almonds.
Well, this really is your hobby, huh?
Well, that's it for snack time. I'm going to have another look around the area. I don't know what we're looking for yet, but we've still got some time. As attorneys, I suggest the 2 of you think the case over again. It would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during the trial.
Alright, thanks for your help, and for the snacks.
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Malus, it's time to go. I'll be back if I find anything new.
Probability of a third person being romantic, how will husband after having talked to the likely of a third person seems very low too. I mean, yes, it does, but I think there was a third person.
Time to put our heads together. We've got to get our defense ready for the trial. Oh, it's probably gonna be a long and difficult case. There's no point in worrying about that now. We just need to prepare. Here, take Paimon's notes. They should help you review the situation.
Yeah. I'm gonna need to go over that. Sorry, I'm trying to analyze my friend speaking to me. What emoji did they send me? I can't find it. What is that? What is that emo? Oh no. I need to know what you're saying. I'm bad at analyzing things. Shy? A girl queen. I respect it. I respect it.
Entering standby mode. I hope nobody disturbs me.
Okay. Friendship comes first. Okay. I need to look over the notes. I need to look over the notes and my body's shaking. What in the motherfucker? What if Tartaglia is the killer? He's been here for a bit of time. He said very vague, sir. He gave us his high division, which has been losing control, which could have been partially why the water in there happened. Could be, could not be. However, what if it was him? 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 I just thought of that. I just thought of that. But he wouldn't be that subtle, would he? My brain tells me he would and wouldn't at the same time. Because he's not a subtle person, but I think he can be. He did sneak up on those guys back in the first Archon quest. And the second Archon quest. All the way back. Like forever ago. So, it could have been him. That's where my brain's going right now. But yeah, there had to have been a third person. There had to have been a third person. Specifically because, suddenly, out of nowhere, there's no way they showed the macaron scene just for funsies, just for something cute. The macaron scene was true. Paimon was being honest, and everyone should have believed her. Because since no one believed her, we're gonna get to this bottom of this case later, but if everyone believed her, they would realize there's a third person involved. They're stealing our shit, and they're right under our nose. They're teasing us. Which is a very Tartaglia thing to do, but I also don't think Tartaglia would go against us and our friends. So it could have also been, there's no way it would have been Arlecchino. Could it have been Dottore and Drone? I don't think it would. Again, those two aren't very subtle. But Dottore and Tartaglia can be subtle. It's weird. It's weird.
Why would it be him? How strange. God, Gosh, no wonder the series... We all heard that noise, didn't we?
Yeah.
The performance would not have been visible from where the doors were guarded. If Paimon were on duty, she would have snuck back into the audience seating.
Sorry about that. We're back on the case. Entrances and exits to the opera, no one left. Okay.
Well, there was no chance Paimon could have seen that the box had 2 layers. And that's why only the 2 of them can perform this trick.
And that's why it couldn't have been either of them, because they were on stage. In my humble-ass opinion.
Whoever the murderer was, they must have made prep. There was no third person. And Paimon didn't eat more than 3 macarons either.
I agree with you. Paimon didn't eat more than 3. And there were not 3 people. I don't know how there couldn't have been a third person. I know we're saying there's no way it's possible a third person could have been involved. But I don't know why that's the case. There had to have been a third person involved. Who was stealing your macarons, girlfriend?
Digging a tunnel just for a magic trick? Whew, that must have been a lot of work.
No. We missed something. We missed 3 things. I was like, hey, did we investigate enough? And Paimon was doing the same thing. He was like, I don't know if we investigated enough. I agree with you now, because there are 3 slots that are missing because they've not yet investigated. Which means we missed investigating certain things. I made sure to investigate every single thing I saw. How did I miss something? I must have missed something up. It's fine. Whatever I missed, I can't go back and get it. I'm gonna be super upset at myself later for what I missed, because it was probably super duper obvious. But it's fine. Okay. think I can do investigations now? I want to. The following day is 10. Oh, is it already enough? That's fine. At least we're making very sure. I'm so stressed, y'all. What if we get this wrong?
What do we do? The whole situation is so confusing.
I do have some thoughts, but let's take things step by step.
Good plan. Impossible things don't just happen. We'll get to the truth one way or another.
Exactly.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lyney and Lynette, at least we will be supporting them from the stands. Besides, I doubt Farina understands any more about what happened than we do.
Thanks, Navia. Well, we'll be going then.
Best of luck to you.
Thank you. This is so stressful, y'all. We're in it. We are in it. I'm so scared.
Finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
I'm so sorry, bitches.
To be honest, you might be disappointed.
Yeah.
No. We're already very grateful that you were willing to help.
Thanks.
Well now, don't you all look disappointed. Don't tell me that your investigation came up empty-handed. That was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence. But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you, my most anticipated foe, concede so easily.
Just you wait.
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session. Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Lyney explain the trick?
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items have been prepared.
Thank you, Mr. Lyney. In that case, I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is this correct?
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina, do you wish to refute his statement in any way?
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Lyney is clearly lying.
Can you explain
There
this,
is no way
Phoenix
you could
Wright?
have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at all.
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were inside your box?
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might leave an impression of any kind?
A thump, mayhap?
No, nothing.
Oh, that's suspicious.
But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically everyone heard it.
Thank you. Okay, maybe I'm leaning against Lyney because Lyney said he didn't hear the thump and we all heard the thump.
Huh?
Hey, hang on. Something's not right here.
Yeah. How could Lyney not know about the sound? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
Yeah, but he seems genuinely confused if you look at his face.
I was right by the box, and I definitely heard the thud.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
They probably represent the Oratrace's stance on the trial.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. Indeed, it seems his alibi can also collapse in the blink of an eye. Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid. Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
You're not gonna deny that.
House of the Hearth?
They're Fatui? Yeah. Y'all didn't figure that out?
No wonder they did something like this.
Ugh. Ugh. I cannot stand when people are like, they're from this group, they're in this group of people, they're bad. No wonder they did this shitty thing. Fatui are not all bad people. That's common knowledge. And I hate that our characters are like, they're Fatui, House of the Hearth. Girl, we expected this, and it's not a bad thing.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui's doing. Now it all makes sense.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an accident.
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything that happened during that 1 minute. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless your script already has holes in it. The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and discord, I suppose. This was almost too easy. Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Girly.
Hey, Lyney, why didn't you tell us this before?
Why are we considering this as potential evidence?
Order!
We have seen
Order.
multiple Fatui that aren't
Mr.
bad
Lyney,
people.
allow me to re-establish the facts. Lady Farina has raised 2 points. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth. Are these claims true?
Huh? They should have all been set up beforehand. There must be some scheme at work here. Girly, you're using your...
Please answer my question, Mr. Lyney.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What should we do now?
Permission to speak, Your Honor.
Granted.
I have opinions. I have opinions. My client... Oh, I'm sorry. Pussy face bitch ass. I'm fine. I'm fine. Sorry about that. Things keep going wrong. My fan was feeling me. So, when has the Traveler backed down from a challenge? I don't... I hate that they're like, I've been tricked by Fatui schemes, bitch. Aware, you're friends with 2 members of the Fatui Harbingers that you consider to be both good people. You're friends with multiple allies of the Fatui. You have literally stated on multiple occasions as a part of the core story that you are a friend of the Fatui, that you like the Fatui. There has never been a time where the Traveler has said all Fatui Harbingers are bad people. We have direct proof that there are good Fatui Harbingers. Good, genuinely good Fatui Harbingers. Oh my goodness. I don't want to click that because it's wrong. I don't want to click that because it's wrong. How does being a member of the Fatui Harbingers make this case suddenly correct? The Fatui... Oh my goodness. That's not evidence, that's just identity.
In that case, what is your request?
Press a brief adjournment. There are things that need to be discussed.
Is that really necessary? They're already as good as guilty.
Can you shut the fuck up?
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Can you shut the fuck up?
Order, I say! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
So you would stick to Mr. Lyney's defense even after knowing what you do now? You certainly have more professionalism than I thought. In that case, my dear audience, let's allow the joy of victory to steep for a little while longer.
I hate you. And I'm so happy I'm your enemy right now. Because you suck. Hey girlies. It's okay, you can tell me. We're kind here.
This is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up. I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Yeah, sorry. Paimon doesn't know where to start. We trusted you two.
They're still good people.
We based our
That hasn't
entire
changed.
reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys.
The Fatui aren't inherently bad, Paimon. You're shallow. I'm sorry, I'm mad. There are times where I genuinely think this game's gonna have some good, nuanced, proper storytelling. And then they do shit like this. Where they're like, the Fatui are all bad, and if someone's a part of the Fatui, we have to assume they're bad, and we have to get mad at them and tell them they're horrible, bad people, and that they deceived us. Can you be nuanced for 1 second and not be so shallow as to think that someone is... Oh my goodness. It's upsetting.
Not to set the wrong tone or anything, but Paimon's really mad.
I'm mad at you, Paimon.
I'm very sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonably so, but please, let me explain. I know you've clashed with the Fatui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset. But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face. I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details instead. The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to.
I hate you, Lumian. I hate this. Hoyoverse is trying to make the Traveler an asshole.
Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle to trust me at this point.
Why?
You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, too.
I'm so mad. The people that are being kind-hearted, nice, and understanding and sweet and trying to show you that they care are the people you consider to be evil. You need to reconsider your points because, Traveler, I think you're the bad guy. This has been pointed out multiple times. You cause chaos. You cause problems. But all because you're not a part of the Fatui and you've clashed with them means you're a good person? I highly doubt it.
But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal. At least, not in this case.
Sorry. Please forgive us.
Well, you both say that, but...
Explain, where did you actually go while the trick was being performed?
Let's hear your answer first, and no lies now!
I don't think they were lying, Paimon.
Of course. I'll answer any question you ask. We've been trying to find out how the Aura Trace operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately? During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick, with the objective of getting close to the core.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which the core is stored.
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
And what did you find?
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, I heard someone's voice.
That's what we
Which
experienced.
should have been impossible, of course. I was quite certain that I was the only one in the room. That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought. After that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
Okay.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
But why do you want to understand how the Aura Trace operates?
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. I swear, I didn't hide anything from you this time.
Okay.
It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either. But, like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fatui, there's nothing I can do to stop you.
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
I believe in the facts. I will defend you from these charges.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
Of course.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against you two. If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watertight defense.
Actually, we already have the key evidence we need.
Huh?
The adjournment's almost over. Let's go back.
Oh, Paimon thinks she gets what you mean.
Yeah, Then he claims that he headed to the chamber containing the Aura Trace core upon entering the tunnel and did not witness the crime take place and thus did not hear the thud. He did not hear the thud, he did not witness the crime take place, and he went to the basement. We know that that thing went to the basement. So if we go to the basement, and we check things out, and we find traces of him gone there, the Aura Trace could have tried to talk to him, which we could investigate. Could have a consciousness. I want to see where this goes. I have ideas. Or thoughts.
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial.
Of course.
When last we left off, Mr. Lyney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the events.
Ugh, that took long enough. Now then, if everyone would lend me their attention. At this stage, let's revisit that scene from Lyney's perspective.
Sorry, Phoenix Wright, to interrupt you. The opposition's account of them, you can identify loopholes in their statement. Okay, so based on the opposition's account of events, we can try to find loopholes in what we know, what they know, and what is factual. Clues to your investigation, refute any areas. Woo! I'm excited! I'm excited! I've always loved doing, like, trial stuff. I've always wanted to play Phoenix Wright just because I love doing, like, investigations like that. I'm really bad at them, and I do enjoy them. Use your refutations to convince the audience and obtain more support from the people. Their taste will display shifts. Okay. So, we are the red? Refute all incorrect content. You can complete the cycle of refutation. We are blue.
As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel.
Yes.
When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud. He did not realize that the sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed earlier that he could not hear the sound.
That doesn't make sense. He'd want to say that he heard the sound to seem innocent.
Finally, he used the vase to knock her out, before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing her.
Why would he want to break the vase? That would just leave evidence. And why would he want to leave the clothes there? That would just leave evidence. In the very obvious spot that he would have to show, that he did willingly show. He's leaving evidence behind. That doesn't make sense.
At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and caught Lyney red-handed. So Lyney proceeded to knock him out too before stuffing him into that box.
That also does not make sense.
Afterward, Lyney passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands, before operating the devices such that Cowell's death would be ruled an accident.
Well, no, because the things happen automatically.
And there you have it. That's the truth behind what happened.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina's description of the events?
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events. What Lyney experienced and what he saw.
After the tunnel, Lyney entered the tunnel. No. Yeah. Did not waste time to place into inaccurate sets. That would be a very big moment there. Show no, the chamber of the house is the orchard's core. That's not gonna work here.
Seems this... Seems this won't produce a particularly effective rebuttal.
Okay, let's try and identify a loophole somewhere else. Then he knocked Cowell down. Cowell walked in evidently, so that the letter knocked down. The existing evidence indicates that when Lyney returned to town, the crime had already taken place.
Seems this won't produce a particularly effective rebuttal.
I know exactly. Lyney saw this.
Lyney did not take part in the underground altercation. He only witnessed traces of the aftermath. According to Lyney, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. He couldn't have had that altercation with Halsey.
Yeah. No.
Lyney went to the room that contains the Oratrice's core. This is the actual truth.
Exactly.
Attention! Ace Detective
Okay,
Paimon
sorry
has
if I didn't
something
speak
to
that
say.
much. My brain was like going at 1,000,000 miles a minute.
When the countdown started, Lyney did indeed go into the tunnel. But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is stored. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. Since he felt something was amiss, he returned immediately. The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again, and in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent.
Facts. Boom bada bitch. Or even Stevens, motherfucker. Motherfucker. I did it, bitch.
Paimon did it! Paimon actually managed to say all that! Wasn't it awesome?
Yeah.
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
Yeah.
That's right!
Moreover, I believe my opposition's reasoning is flawed.
My reasoning?
The onstage equipment was clearly tampered with in a premeditated fashion. However, you say that Cowell bumped into Lyney by chance.
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill?
Exactly.
Assuming that what you say is true, Lyney only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
Oh, they have a point.
Exactly.
That's right, you tell them! And that's why they're partners of mine. They've managed to turn things around.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, your denial is very strident, I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claims?
Do you happen to remember how you refuted Lyney's alibi initially?
Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that sound? Why do you ask? You're saying that he wasn't?
Your weapon, your claim has now become my weapon. Choose the most. There's evidence that Lyney wasn't in the tunnel when the crime took place. Okay. 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 Holidays missing? No. No. During the switching performance, there was an audible thump. And this is an exit to the opera house. No. I'm still concerned about this. Number selector.
That's right! Lyney wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange during the performance.
I'm so scared I messed it up.
This means that when the crime happened, Lyney had already entered the basement via the vent. The same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best proof! How do you like that?
Well played.
Thanks, Navia.
To think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Lyney who committed the crimes, then who was it?
Well, that's a little... Whatever it was. Includes that the indicates that the fireworks released in ensued. Water tank fall and kill cow. Okay, someone would have had to align the water tank. It would have been the. Yes. And it wasn't Lynette. Box. outfit, Lynette. Yeah, so she would have to be on stage. The clothes belonged to Halsey, the lady who went missing, were found in the tunnel. The reason for this remains unknown. Okay. Select answers and fill the empty gears to justify the correctness of your deduction. If you've made mistakes, you must. Regarding the investigation reports. Okay, we already got that. Right, yeah. Select any question to check the information you're missing. Okay. Oh my goodness. Wait, why won't it let me do the thing I want to do? Well, instead, the selected lady who went missing. Oh no. She could have snuck out. But whose identity would she take? To check the information I'm missing. Okay, there we go. Any clue to the detail?
Could there have been a third person involved? Is that really a possibility?
Doubt it.
Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. Or did she have her own scheme all along? The deceased's name is Cowell, Lyney's assistant.
Knew it. I knew it.
Huh? Oh, that can't be right. Are you serious?
I am serious.
The killer was, in fact, Cowell, the deceased!
I love how she has zero confidence. I know exactly what happened.
Is that what I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did and how he went from would-be perpetrator.
It makes so much sense now.
No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances. So
it's not where we're starting. It's not where we're starting. Okay. The sound.
It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into Lyney as well.
So, where did the girl go? That's the question. Did she run?
Lyney was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time. The sound we heard may have come... Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. The deceased's name is Cowell, Lyney's assistant.
Yep. Okay, he would have been able to tamper with equipment.
No one entered or left. Lyney was not in the tunnel. The sound we heard may have... Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. So, there...
Was wrong. Okay.
Lyney was not in the tunnel. It would have been tough for both people. No one entered or left the
How
opera.
can we envisage Lyney as having been unable to interfere with the crime? Oh, I didn't know what we were doing. Sorry. Who is the prime suspect currently? Missing Halsey go. Okay, who is the prime suspect currently?
The deceased's name is Cowell.
How can we envisage Lyney as having trouble to interfere with the crime? Okay, I'm sorry for messing up the first try. I didn't know what the question was. Okay, interfere with the crime.
Lyney was not in the tunnel.
How can I prove that there was an altercation in the tunnel?
The sound we heard may have...
Missing Halsey go.
No one entered or left the opera house through its... It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent.
Yes, okay.
No one
So it would have had to
entered
be
or
this
left-
one, obviously. Must have understood the methods behind Lyney's magic trick. It must have been in a position to easily modify the equipment. Even inside of a dark cloud, Lyney was not in the tunnel for 1 minute. This would have...
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring things out?
Where in the world did Halsey go?
I see how it is.
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not consider a different track?
Okay.
Just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly different from the magician's initial design.
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits, and none of them seem very likely.
Yeah.
And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear. You know, like you did from that water tank, Lynette.
Escaping from the water tank.
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents, but do you not see that the crowd is growing impatient?
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Hold on a second. The
Lyney
water.
was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave... The sound we heard may have come from a clap. The deceased's name is Cowell.
I immediately got that right, but...
The vase was not broken by chance. It was used to cover important evidence. The water.
Yeah.
Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped. Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind. If there's a similar method where a person could be transformed into water...
Dissolved into waters.
Oh, just a moment, please. I do hope you know how preposterous you sound at the moment. How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking about here, not some magic trick.
I request that we examine Cowell's personal effects.
Must we really? I should think that of anyone. Your friend Lyney already knows this truth very well. Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection. But Halsey's disappearance is very real. We're talking about 2 completely different things.
Even so, I trust the Traveler's judgment. The truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may open if we try to gather all the focal points that don't make sense. Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope. The way I see it, your suggestion that we broaden the scope of our investigation is nothing but a tactic for stalling the trial.
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional evidence may help us make more progress. Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased, Cowell.
Okay.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel
Yes.
must be shared with everyone post-haste.
Hydro delusion?
We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's
Yes.
baggage, each labeled separately.
And Cowell joined the magic troupe recently. He was well liked, so he tricked everyone into being comfortable with him so no one would suspect him. Fuck yeah. So good at this shit.
The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are water from the primordial sea.
The primordial sea?
The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice. The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve appears many times. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. It is empty.
Sir.
Notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of test subject.
Shit.
As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is, in fact, supported by sufficient evidence.
Fuck you.
You've got to be kidding! People dissolving into water?
Could something so ridiculous actually be true?
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just a coincidence, isn't it?
Nothing's a coincidence.
Huh. If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowell was targeting that girl... Wait just a minute. Could that mean... You two, with me, quick!
I trust you,
What's that?
Nabia.
Wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order! It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results, but we cannot yet verify the veracity of these clues. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found. Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines. Mr. Lyney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence, so please continue speaking.
Of course. Thank you, Your Honor. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all.
Yeah.
Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
Yeah. One will see the liquid that the guards found able to dissolve Fontaines into water, which would have had to have related to the prophecy. The people will all be dissolved into water. That prophecy? Yeah, that relates to this. There's no questioning it. That's just fact. We're taking that as fact. I don't care if it's wrong. The liquid the guards found in Cowell's ledges. Cowell found it. Cowell was presumably a member of some sort of rival faction that's trying to make this prophecy more true. And trying to dissolve people in the water. That vase could have not been filled with water beforehand, and that water there is Halsey. Who is the prime suspect currently?
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lyney's assistant.
What item did the culprit use to control the timing of this decision? Timing. This dissolution.
Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick. But the water from the primordial... was in the magic box on stage, I remember
That's a good
there was
question.
something else within the inner layer of that box.
Lynette.
The rope that strung the water tank up was lit by the...
Yep.
I remember there was something...
Okay, we're close. Yes! Okay, we got it. Okay. I see now. I see.
It's Ace Detective Paimon's time to shine again!
Phoenix Wright Ace Detective. Let's
In
go.
the original plan, Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope and the number selector securing his target. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey. Afterward, Cowell would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel, and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
Huh. That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
Yep.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person? What a humiliation.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cal's death. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence.
Sorry, the evidence with that water tank plus the evidence, the new evidence that we're looking over, did Lynette have something to do with this? Maybe Lynette was his accomplice.
I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people involved in this case. And we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Lyney's personal effects.
Are you sure they didn't just plant that water on Lyney?
What?
That can't be.
Oh, I see. Well, how wonderfully comedic to have your own counterattack only to come back and wound you. Does this not clear all doubt? My dear citizens, my loyal audience, allow me to present my reasoning and bring this performance to a swift close.
Fine, mother. I know
Lyney
exactly.
did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, he did leave the scene via the vent. Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowell then caused Halsey to vanish using the water from the primordial sea. But upon his return, in cruel avarice, Lyney desired sole credit and prepared to do away with his partner in crime.
That doesn't make sense.
Ultimately, he knocked Cowell out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up also became a murder weapon. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion, it does seem that the famed Fatui is quite the cold-blooded and ruthless organ. Am I right, Mr. Lyney?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. Is this the end of the...
It's not the end of the road.
Oh no. Paimon can't think of anything either. It doesn't look like there's any way around this. Seems using the water as new evidence was too good a move. Why did this have to happen now?
I think we've all seen enough now. I believe this is indeed the finale. Now then, my good, noble Chief Justice, should we not, in your view, move...
Excuse me, everyone, but I must interject.
Yes, I knew you'd come through, Navia. You went to investigate something.
To shout and to respect the ongoing legal proceedings.
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate? I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes. Please, do the honors, Mr. Lyney, if you would be so kind.
What in the world is she saying?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond...
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is
Okay.
all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion. But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's performance?
Yes.
Come on, Lyney and Lynette. Give it another go. Don't worry. Spina di Rasula has made the necessary arrangements on your behalf. But, as the magic makers and stars of the show, I think I should leave the final performance to you.
I understand.
Yes, Navia.
And voila.
Yes! Sorry, that was very bad timing.
Sorry for the interruption.
I'm so sorry.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So the whole thing about people dissolving wasn't true after all?
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me, and then before I knew it, she caught me.
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
Where should I begin? I'm sorry. I'm the one who killed Cowl. I admit it.
I'm sorry for all the bad timing. That was such a dramatic moment, and my controller had to do that. Sorry.
What? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that Lyney's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before.
Oh, was she? Wait, she does resemble the thief we were going after earlier. So Lillian was the thief that Lyney was trying to catch earlier. Lyney stole the ticket from that man. It all comes full circle. The whole narrative is complete right here, right now.
But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Lyney was the one who caught me in the act.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. So you were the thief. Lyney even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was onto me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee, but then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
If they're a practiced hand at concealment, probably.
But I swear I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
Yep, now it's time to refute the Hydra Archon's previous
we
reasoning.
need to tell the entire story from Lillian's perspective.
Yep. Lyney entered the tunnel after. Okay. Well, we know which is gonna have loopholes. Cowell's plan to use the prepared upper for the magic to dissolve Halsey inside the magic box. As Halsey has appeared completely unharmed before all of our eyes, Farina's conjecture no longer holds water. And how would Halsey have reacted when the water from the primordial sea suddenly began to trickle in? The loud thud.
The strange sound wasn't from a fight. It was Lillian's attempt to break out when she was frightened.
Facts. In fighting between Lyney and Cowell, as Halsey appeared, there is evidence proving that a fight did indeed break out in the tunnel.
The flower vase was not broken to cover anything up, but was smashed during the struggle between Lillian and Cowell.
Incident. What did Halsey do after the fight? What did Halsey do? Okay, we know this answer.
Lillian was afraid that she would be recognized if she left, so she changed clothes and hid, biding her time. Just what one might expect of an experienced thief.
And it's Ace Detective Paimon time!
Let's go,
Having been
Paimon.
selected out of the blue, Lillian panicked. Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open, producing the thud we all heard. Hearing the commotion, Cowell leapt into the tunnel, only to discover that Lillian had not dissolved. He did not know that Lillian was not from Fontaine, but was a thief who made her way in by stealing a ticket. Mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect, he tried to force Lillian back into the box.
Right.
The two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but Lillian came out on top, knocking Cowell out and putting him in the box.
Right.
With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the costume trunk until the performance ended.
Mm-hmm. Okay, look at us go. I'm loving this.
She knew that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So, she has been trapped in the Opera House these last 2 days.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses. Talk about a sneaky thief.
I was right the whole time. I was like, someone needed to steal those 2 macarons, because I trust that Paimon didn't eat them. She wouldn't lie to me. Also, there was not a third person involved, so who could it have been? It couldn't have been Cowell. He's dead. Who else could it have been? Fucking Lillian.
All the events that happened in the tunnel have now come to light.
Ah, so that's the whole story.
Bravo! Bravo!
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak against the defense's statements? Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
What? Are you reading my mind now? No. I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
Wow. Look at that. She's like a deflated balloon now.
Yeah.
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events. The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim. Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house.
Right.
As for Lyney, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these happenings. From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Lyney, the accused, is in fact innocent. While there is much in Lyney and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case, at least, can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision.
Yeah, like, why was Lyney investigating the Oratrice and why was he in the underground structures? That makes sense. Lillian being a thief.
As such, Lyney and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
That was a really pretty cutscene. I loved it.
Great work, partners.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Let's not celebrate just yet.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Lyney's baggage?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know. Or was that not a discovery, but false evidence that you dared to bring before this court?
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Lyney, but you, yes? I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
Farina! That's so insulting. Because we know what they do to guilty... Okay, I'm gonna talk about this. We know what they do to guilty people in Fontaine. It's a very unjust, horrific system that Fontaine has, that they do horrible things to their guilty, that sometimes aren't even guilty of that serious of crimes. And then she makes this joke.
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Lyney, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability to said higher-ups, yes? Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know and seek the protection of the guards.
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know. Our boss discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve.
Okay,
it can also
that's
be
weird.
made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration. We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent more off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is the boss we're talking about. The...
Did he just dissolve into water right then and there? He turned into water.
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness. I shouldn't have expected any less of them.
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
Oh my goodness.
So, we're just going back now?
I don't know. We're not needed here anymore.
That's true, but...
Traveler, Paimon, please wait.
Huh?
Lyney...
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me. But still, let me thank you again for defending me to the end. Even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui.
I just didn't want to see anyone be falsely
I guess.
accused.
But regardless, I'd like the opportunity to set things straight. I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain Lyney this entire time. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That's all.
Yeah.
That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
So we have a name. Father Otet is her real name. Arlecchino and the Knave are her titles. Boom.
A knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth? She's your father?
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering, would you mind hearing a story? It's about my past.
Of course,
Back when our parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering the streets.
So you're not actually related
to survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic.
Not biologically related.
It took me several days to figure out how he pulled off his amazing tricks. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic tricks there. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But I didn't want my sister to remain a street rat together with me forever. Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to take us in after watching my performances.
So you went from orphans to nobility just like that?
That was how we felt at first too. As if fate was on our side and we could say goodbye to those painful days. But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks. He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would then use to expand his social circles.
That doesn't seem too bad either. Better than roaming the streets at any rate.
It took a while for me to realize just how dark his heart really was. After one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was not on the same return vehicle as me. I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. I went to that noble's bedroom and asked him about her whereabouts. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant is, yes?
Oh no. So he was gonna... But wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal with such people?
As far as outsiders are concerned, This is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care, and they have their ways of escaping the eye of the law. I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person and hurried through the night. But by the time I leaped over the walls, avoided the guards, and made my way in, all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood, and the knave standing there in the darkness.
So, she'd already taken care of that guy.
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in a basement, all of them orphans. Father, I mean, the knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me an offer. The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. Indeed, betrayal shall never be permitted here. I was hesitant to trust her. I mean, I had just been betrayed by nobles. But she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first, giving us back our freedom.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
That's all in the past, though. The knave is after the Gnosis, isn't she?
Has her own plans. She has gained permission from the Sarita to first use the Gnosis' power when she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontaine.
Wait! So, Arlecchino, the knave, is actually a really sweet, kind person that just wants the people of Fontaine and in other parts of the world to be safe and happy and healthy? I told you the material was good.
She believes in that prophecy too?
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis. Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy. All of us house members here, Lady Arlecchino herself included, are from Fontaine. We won't give up on defending our homeland.
I knew she was from Fontaine.
To us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from our family, is our homeland.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing with that prophecy.
Traveler? I hate you. The Traveler is on the opposite side of me. I'm literally against the character I'm playing as right now. I'm like, no, we need to do this thing, and the character's like, no, no, no.
It's alright. I understand. The only thing I can do is relate all this to you. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the House, I have never stopped making my own decisions, and that I believe what I'm doing is right. If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me. I will do my best to help you, as plain Lyney.
I genuinely hate the Traveler right now, because as me, I completely trust them because their story makes sense, but the Traveler is going against all logic and reason to just be inflammatory. It's just, it's stupid.
Bye, Lyney!
Sorry, Sage. I'm so upset at the Traveler.
Over here!
I'm not upset at anyone else, I'm upset at the Traveler. Because the Traveler is going against all logic and reason to be like, Lyney's bad because Lyney's a Fatui. Even though, within all logic and reason, everything that we know about the Fatui points to the majority of them at least not being bad people. It's so stupid, and it's so upsetting.
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us, Navia?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case, though. Don't you think so, too?
Well,
Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
I was really only trying to defend Lyney.
Are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been cold for decades now?
Yeah.
And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs for the Hydro Archon's people to follow now, right?
Ah. I see. Well, I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. But I suppose you are just travelers who have only arrived in Fontaine after all. Sorry. I might have been too presumptuous.
Don't say that, Navia.
Ah, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too.
Come on, Traveler, let's investigate with her. Let's make
It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire, causing new hope to spring forth, and the reflection in the murk to become clearer. Sorry about that. I'm a bit prone to nostalgia. Don't mind me. Wait, shall we have a farewell meal? You know, to commemorate our time as partners?
Huh? Do we really need to get that formal?
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending to every important memory. That way there are no regrets later. Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
Well, if you say so.
You don't have to twist Paimon's arm. If Boss Navia's treating, count Paimon in!
Oh, wonderful. In that case, why don't we return to the court of Fontaine and head to the Hotel de Boer? I believe we'll make it just in time for dinner.
Alright then.
Hotel de Boer? Ooh! Okay, fancy. Y'all. Thank you. Yes! Act 2, right now. It's 7 p.m. though. Should I wait? I don't know. I do have stuff to do, but I don't want to do that stuff right now. Like I want to get this done. I know it's been 3 hours, but I could spend 3 more. I don't have to do anything for fun. Or at least we could stop halfway through. There we go. All water converges here. Oh, I just have a lot. I was like, what? Yeah, we already made it pretty far. I do want that, so. Okay. We'll do this. Okay. Kinda wanna think this over. I feel like I should even take this Archon quest.
Surprise!
So I shall. It's not that I don't want to complete it. I really do. I really want to get this done, like, right now, but because my brain's, like, in the moment, so I really want to get this done, because I'm thinking of so many things, but I think if I took a little break, it would be good for me. Because as much as I'm very vested and interested in this Archon quest, I also want to get a bunch of other stuff done. This was very fun, but I'm gonna have to ask that I exit the premises. I don't know how to feel, because I loved that Archon quest. It was so suspenseful and interesting, and there were so many loose ends that I want to get tied up. And so I really want to play this Archon quest, because it's going to tie up so many of those loose ends. I know it is. However, I know that the minute I start, I'm going to get stuck, and I'm not going to be able to stop halfway through, because I'm in too deep. So I think if we stop right now while I'm not in too deep, it'll be good.
Step on up!
And voila!
Is it when it hits opponents?
Now disappear!
Stand with me!
Yeah, I'm a little bit tired out from all that. That's used a lot of my energy. Okay, well, that was a lot in a very good way. I hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day. And remember that you matter. Bye-bye.